Good evening, Linda. SP, time to tell the truth. Fushia Moon, Alexandria L, Victor M, Donna D, Daily Vibe with My Soul Tribe, Patrick Powell, user 401. Hey, good to see you, Alexandra. Anita, Sunshine, Marinee, welcome. Evangelist Chapel, welcome to the show. Chesno, thanks for coming in, my brother. Leo, everybody, thanks for the likes. Everybody start tapping. Let's get tapping here. Let's get activated. It's 11:20 p.m. And this is truly tonight a late night show here on Encounters. This is the #1 UFO talk show, Mr. 100. Welcome to the show. Ruben, welcome to the show. Brug something, I think it was. Peace, love, and light. Yes. Raymond, thanks for joining us here. All the new people coming in here, finding out about our show. Charles in charge. Katie. Everybody coming in here, welcome. I'm the CmdrAleon, the man from Mars, originally a starseed from Mars, a starseed with the Ashtar Galactic Command. I'm a contactee from the 60s. Welcome, everybody. Brian Johnson. I'm also co-host. I'm not co-host, but I'm the host of Pacifica Radio's WESU-FM's Cosmic Eye Astro Command Radio Show. Lauren, Chicago, welcome. Get everybody coming in here. And as the show is moving on, Caroline, welcome to the show. We appreciate everybody coming in here. Hello, Angie Mama. Good to see you, Angie Mama. Welcome. And everybody in here, Meriwether, welcome to the show. All the people coming in here, welcome. It's a good night. It's almost Friday. The week is almost over. I'm sure everyone's happy to have a weekend coming up. So welcome to the show, everybody. We're on this morning. This morning's show will be on my YouTube channel. It's not on there yet. I didn't put it on there yet, but I did have a great interview this morning. I'll share that on YouTube between now and tomorrow. After I'm not live, I'll be putting that on there. So Essence, I think is Edwards or something. S-Seed or Essence Edwards, I think it is. Edward, there you go. Good morning. Good evening. Good morning. What am I saying? Good to have everybody here. We're getting up there. Let's amp it up. Good to have you with us, everybody coming in here. We're just getting started. Nobody has missed anything. I know nobody wants to miss anything here. It won't let me resubscribe, Commander, for some reason. Oh, let's see what's going on here, man. It should. I don't know why it's not letting you resubscribe. Huh. That is pretty weird. Let me see here. I'm going in there now. It says to manage it. Okay, so I've never managed the subscription list, but I will. Subscribers, add new goals. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure why it's doing that, Chesno. I'll have to check that out. It tells people to resubscribe and it's not letting them do it. That's pretty crazy. We'll figure that out. User 346, hello. Hey, Michael, good evening. Dreaming Annie, thanks for the likes. All the people liking it, thank you for the likes. Hey, Laura, thanks for sharing. Everyone else do what Laura's doing. Share. Let people know we're here. If you're not following us, please follow. CmdrAleon 2022. My Cash App is on Venmo, so you can also donate money on my Cash App. So I appreciate that. If you'll do that at some point before the show's over tonight, every little bit helps. You know, it's all unconditional love here. And that's why this show is the #1 UFO talk show on social media. Because I've had experiences as a contactee, I can relate to people 100%. You know, everyone's interested in UFOs now, ever since the whole thing with the DOD happened, the last few years. Everyone's on the bandwagon, you know. Even the religious people, those religious fanatics are on the bandwagon with their own agenda. You know what I mean? Twisted Mystic, thank you for the roses. We appreciate that. Pamela, welcome. Marina, good to have you with us. You know, thank you so much for everybody coming in here. Going to the Evansville, Indiana Fall Festival. Just voted #1. Interesting, Angie. That should be a lot of fun. And now, of course, my cat has decided to get up because I'm on live. She seems to want to get up when I'm on live. Chesno, thank you for the heart. My awakening was about 2.5 years ago. Victor, good to see you, Victor. Hope you're doing well, brother. You're always welcome, my friend. Great to see you always. Same here, Twisted Mystic. Eddie Ray, thank you. My Reality. Riley's Custom Car. Welcome, Riley. Good to see you. It's been a while. Everybody coming in here. Let's amp it up. Gilbert 210. Ruben, thanks for joining us again. Daily Vibe. Thank you for this. Now I'm electrified. That thing always electrifies me, that blue electric hand thing, And we're going to get to some really good interviews. I'm pretty sure they'll have a lot of people in here. Veronica, welcome. If you're not used to the show, hey, San Antonio, Texas, good to have you with us. Yes, over 130 food booths and lots of fun. That sounds great. Dreaming Annie, thanks for the likes. Riley, thank you for the likes. Everybody liking, thank you. Please share. Hey, Saint, good to have you with us. Greetings from Pluto. Yes. Mary, welcome. Mary, I think Mary something. Welcome to the show. Danny, welcome to Encounters. I see a lot of new names coming in, and we love having new people in here. Apostle Claude, welcome, Apostle Claude. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, TikTok is stabilized on its system tonight. I think it's Mary A. Hearn. That's right, Mary A. Hearn. Thank you for joining us. Hans Core, welcome. Good evening. Maria, good evening. I'm just right now saying welcome to all the new people. Adios. Good to have you with us, Adios Snow. And everybody coming in here. We're at 55, and I know we have a lot of followers there, so I know we can get all those people in here. Kryptonite, good evening. UFO Mania, I think you're in Japan. Welcome to the show. And I wanted to see if we can get you on UFO Mania. I have a feeling you have a few stories, out of Japan. I'd like to hear what's happening over in Japan with the spaceships and the ET area. And I'm hoping you can come on. So we're going to see if we can get UFO Mania in Japan on here. We're going to invite you on here to be a guest. I know you couldn't come on the other night. I'm hoping you can join us tonight. I want to get some information out of Japan and that area. River, thanks for joining us. Booty Pimples, good to have you with us. Everybody coming in here. Caroline Cutter, thanks for joining us. Ryan Blake, welcome to the show. This is Encounters. And this is a talk show, folks. Unlike other TikToks, we actually do a talk show. Where other people, I was on briefly I did something I don't normally do. I went on a live thing where I won't even refer to what the word was for evolution. But I stopped in and just told the person, this cosmic transformation, but evolution, I don't believe in evolution, not where I come from. JJC3, hi Commander and everyone. Glad to see new beings, Commander. Yes, always. US, thanks for the follow. We appreciate it. I got the feeling, it's been a good couple of days. I know Amshai is pretty busy, but I got the feeling pretty soon Amshai is going to have more information for us. I get that vibe, even though she's not on right now. I got a feeling when she does come back on, she'll have more information that's top secret. I keep getting pretty soon she's going to. Now, I'm just tuning in, and I think that's what's going to happen very soon. I've just pretty much laid low just to let her do what she needs to do. And Starshine, welcome to the show always. Cecil Wickham, welcome everybody. Den Joy K1, welcome to our show. Good to have all you new people with us here. Nobody's missed anything. Fabio, welcome to the show. Yowzer, welcome. Good to see you. Flo 3 Theo, welcome to our show. There's a lot of new names coming in here. And this is great because we love having new people in here to join our discussion. Chris, good to see you, Chris. Thank you for the heart with the smiley face. That's very cool. User 939. Stephen Greer did an interview today. It was taped on Adam Sandler's Inspire Nation on YouTube. Yeah, Stephen Greer's doing a lot of interviews. I tried to get him to his people to have him come on my show here, but they said he was booked up until next year. He's booked up. I can't even get him on the show. Not yet, but we will, because I'm one of those people that'll push until I get their media people to set a date. We'll get him on here. It's only a matter of time. I want to interview him. The last time I interviewed Stephen Greer was back in the New Hampshire MUFON conference in the early 90s on TV. And that was when he was first starting. So I want to interview Mr. Greer. Maybe someone who knows Stephen Greer on here. Maybe somebody has his direct connection without his, what they call the, not the guards. It's like the people that are like the front book cover. Before you get to him, you got to go through that front book cover to open the book and see it. See the first page. So if anybody knows Stephen Greer personally, let him know. We want to get him on our show here on Encounters. And he's invited to talk on the show. And we'd like to get him on here. So if anybody has anybody that knows Stephen Greer directly without going through it, it's called gatekeepers. They're gatekeepers. Yes. Thank you, Mystic. That's right, Twisted Mystic. They're gatekeepers. So his media gatekeepers emailed me and said he's not available until next year. He's all booked. He might be booked, but I think we can get Mr. Greer on here. So if somebody has any connections to Mr. Greer, please make contact and message me. Let's set it up. Get him on TikTok. He's got to have a TikTok account. Maybe he doesn't. But if he has TikTok, we'll get him on here somehow. Welcome to Encounters, everybody. And it's good to have you all with us. I might just pull somebody out of my listings here to interact with us. Now, UFO Mania in Japan, I am inviting you to come on live. Oh, he does have an account. Well, if somebody can nudge him or know him, let's set up a date with him on the Encounter show. I think everyone that's a great idea. Everybody contact Stephen Greer and ask him, hello, Dusty Mom. Ask him to come on Encounters. Tell him that he needs to come on the #1 UFO talk show here on social media. It's funny how all these people on YouTube want to interview him, and you see all these interviews with all these people, because it's the topic, it's a thing. Hey, I'm game too, Twisted Mystic. So let's all do it. I mean, I reached out to their media people on their email, and that's when they told me he was, Bobby Rock, good to have you. They told me he was, booked out. He's like booked out everywhere. But there's got to be a way we can get him on here. I'm sure he has time to speak with all the things he's doing. He's speaking on so many different media platforms. There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to come here. It's those gatekeepers, that kind of separate you from the person. We just have to get rid of the gatekeepers and go direct to the man. I would just look up Dr. Stephen Greer, and he probably has his direct website, a way to contact him. I'm sure also if there's an email address, which there is, if you go on Dr. Greer's website, whatever the organization platform is, just everybody barrage them with emails saying, we want to get Dr. Greer on the Encounter TV show on TikTok. And if everybody does that, I think they'll start saying, what is this Encounter show? Now, if only one person does it, they don't care. But if everybody does it, hundreds of us, hundreds of my followers on here on my show, I think Dr. Greer will come on. So that's actually my message to everybody on the show. There's another word I'm looking for. That's the directive I'm getting. Everybody, slam their media people over there at their office to get Dr. Greer to agree to come on here on Encounters. And if everybody does it, I think we'll be able to do it. Yep, I think we will. And we're going to Japan on here. There's a person in Japan, and I'm pretty certain I'm getting the most strongest feelings that they have information about what's going on in Japan in that part of the world. But they're not responding to my invite. So we're going to invite UFO Mania. Gaku, I'm inviting you to come on here with us. The host of the show is inviting you to come on here. Unless you're totally busy, we want to hear from Japan. I know Japan's had a long history of sightings in that area. They're trying to see the whole area out there. So we'll see what's going to happen. Someone says freezing is going on. Katie, well, good to have you with us. Harpo, thanks for joining us here. Good evening, Eve for Life. Jack, welcome to the show. Matt, welcome to the show. Who else we got here? Savart, the Almighty. We'll bring Savart back on here. He, UFO Mania, sorry. Are you unable to come on from Japan? We'd love to have you on here. I'm cooler than Stephen Greer. Hey, thank you. Yeah. And hey, Riley, welcome. And also, Savart, good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you, Commander. Hey, I had a question I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, go right ahead.
You remember the last time I was on, I told you about my sighting and my encounter and everything like that?
Yeah.
Did you say you also had like some sort of sighting or encounter?
Oh, on my first sighting was when I was preteen. I had a contact with space beings when I lived in Long Island. I went upstairs from having dinner for people that I'm sure some people there don't know the story. I was done with dinner. My brother, my mother and father were downstairs in the kitchen. It was a 2-level house in a cul-de-sac in Long Island in the 60s. And I just, for some reason, ran upstairs like, I just had to go upstairs. I ran past my room, which was next to my brother's room, which was bigger, and I go right to the window like I have a purpose. I got to go to the window. I opened the wooden shades, and there was a spaceship, what you call a saucer tape ship, with men, women, and children in it that were human. They were wearing spacesuits, they were like a light bluish kind of, not glowish, but they had like a radiant color to the suits, I guess.
Yeah.
And they were telepathically communicating with me, and I was watching them for a few minutes, and they said, "You're not from here. You're from where we are. You're born here, but you're not from here." That was my first, visual encounter of space people. They were looking right at me. Their ship was floating in the cul-de-sac, and there was like a fog around it. I don't remember what time of the year it was. I don't think it was winter. I think it was a warmer part of the year, but there was this like mist around the ship. And that's
No, I
all I
get it.
saw was the ship.
Hey, I also wanted to ask you, like, since you've had that encounter and that sighting, like, have you been getting like stalked or fucked with by the government since then, or
Oh,
is it been chill?
let's try not using any foul language because TikTok will be on my case.
Sorry, I used the wrong
Um,
word. But have you been getting stalked or messed with by the
no,
government since you had that
no, not at
encounter?
all. No, I don't have any messing with the government. The government's actually afraid of me. The government is, and I really have confirmation from my contact off planet. They won't touch me. The government won't touch me. We've had unmarked helicopters years ago fly over a former apartment we lived in before I got married, and it hovered the next day because we had space people or beings in the apartment. When we got home, they were in another room, and then we noticed this fog in the other room, and they disappeared. The next day, there was an unmarked helicopter, like all the way up in the sky with antennas, just hovering there in front of the apartment complex in a clear blue sky. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of anything. I want to say this. There are people that have a vibrational frequency. If they don't have a very high frequency and they don't have the strength in their cosmic understanding, they might be played around with, but not me. I am here to bust the matrix. I don't care. The government doesn't, the people in the top secret government that are trying to stop all this, they don't bother me. People on
I
here
get
know
it.
that. I'm here. They're more afraid of me than anything else.
I get it.
I
Well,
can.
how do I get like you? Because they definitely bother me. They definitely bothering me. So how do I get like you where they don't bother me?
What you need to do is meditate, and you need to call on the Christed beings of light of the galactic forces to protect you, to assist you. And if you do that in your meditations and start making that contact, that will prevent that from happening. You have the ability to prevent it. Most people don't know how to do that because they live in a world where they've been clobbered with all this 3D stuff. They don't know any better. But I've never taught people how to do that. You're the first one who's asked me a question. But you can stop it. You have your own power within you to stop any government interference with you on some level. You just need to focus on inner guidance, meditation, and just say, I will not allow any more interference energetically or whatever
I know, I
by,
get that. I'm just my thing is like I'm not good at meditation and like
but the thing is,
I'm just a guy
even if
who
you're
had
not
an
good at,
encounter. I'm just a guy who had an
but if you're,
encounter, saw something he wasn't supposed to see, and now he just knows about like anti-gravity and faster than light speed travel and shit. And now the government
right.
is fucking with me. So like what do I do about that?
Okay. But
Like I'm just a regular
let's not use,
guy. Yes, I
yeah,
get
but
it.
let's
I
not
know
use the
about
line.
anti-gravity. I'm not supposed
We
to
got,
know. Yes, I get it. I
I
know
know.
about faster than light travel. I'm not supposed to know.
Right.
And now they're fucking with me. So like what do I do about
Okay,
that?
but
You get what I'm saying?
we need not to use that language because that's going to get me banned on TikTok.
Okay, well, I say messing with me. They're messing with me a
You
lot.
can say messing with me is good. I try to keep the language out of it because I know TikTok is a little bit touchy, and really, I just want to keep the language clean. That's
The-
all I ask of my guests.
I get it.
It,
I get it.
it's a belief system. You have to believe. That is a simple term for it. You have to
Yeah,
believe that you will be protected. You have to tap into
yeah,
that. If you have to, elevate, that helps too. But it's when you're in prayer, when you're in your own, happy heart, when you're humble for the good things in your life, like that knowledge that you have, you'll be protected. It's in
That
your head.
yeah.
knowledge
I mean,
is getting me
That
screwed
matrix,
with a
that
lot,
tapping into the
man.
matrix. Tap into the
there's
matrix.
other right, and you know what? There are people on here. One of our friends, he's been messed with out in Arizona. I call him Tesla. You can't let them get to you. If you're going to start thinking about how they're getting to you, that's what they want you to do. If you put yourself in a situation where you don't care what you think about them, and allow yourself, you say you can't do this, you can't meditate, you can't. There's no such thing as can't in my vocabulary. Nothing like that. In my vocabulary, when I talk to people, I teach people they can do this, they can do that. There's no can't. Your mind tells you you can't do it. You have to get out of your head, get into the inner part of your spirit, which is your higher self. When you get out of your head, you can do anything you wish to do. Your head messes around with you. Your conscious mind is messing with you, and your mind is saying, "Oh, they're all going to get me." They're only going to get you if you allow that to happen. Okay,
They're not gonna get
so
me. They're definitely not gonna get me. It's just that
well,
like
then there you go. They're not going to get you. You just said it. You
it's
just
just that
said that with
their
conviction.
provocation is annoying. That's the best way I could describe it. Them trying to provoke me is annoying, and them trying to do
Right.
this and that is just very annoying. It's like I don't know if they think because I've seen it and I know about it that I'm gonna like create some anti-gravity craft or I'm gonna create some shit that's gonna go faster than the speed of light. Like they think like you know about some shit you're not. Excuse me. You know about some stuff you're not supposed to know about. That's what they think, and I understand that. But it's at the same time, it's like also like yes, I know about it, but leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing
Right.
anything. So
Right.
like
But
just
you're
leave me
thinking
alone.
too much about your. And we're going to have our DoD contact. I know she's in here. We're going to bring her on in a few minutes. I just want you to know, the more you think about what they're going to do, the more it's going to get to you. If someone keeps bullying you and they keep pushing you around, eventually you're going to break. Because if you keep allowing it, you're going to break. If you don't let someone bully you and you say, I've had enough, and stand up to that bully and say, hey, you're not going to do this anymore, only two things can happen. Either they're going to look at you and turn around, or there's going to be a conflict. The
I get it.
choices are yours.
I get it, but this is not the schoolyard bully we're talking about.
It
This is like
doesn't
the
matter.
government.
It doesn't matter. What
You can't
matters
just
is,
stand up and turn around and punch this guy in the face. It doesn't
no,
work that
that's
way.
not what
You know what I
that's
mean?
what I'm talking. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying I'm using the analogy in a different way. I'm saying no. You stand up to that energy and you say to yourself, no longer can you, you threaten me, knowing about what you're doing with free energy or whatever you're doing with ETs or whatever. You
You
need
don't want
to, you need to
you don't
get
want
control of yourself. And that means meditation. You say you can't do it. I don't believe that. You just have to allow yourself to do it.
you have to take the time to do it. You have to set the
You're
time
going to have
aside.
to take the time to do
I'm
it.
going to do this for 30 days, 30 minutes. You know,
No, I have the
if
time.
you
Yeah, no, like I said, I try to do it.
let, if
Like
I can give
it's
you some advice, this will help the whole room entirely too.
go
There's a
for it.
thing with there's a thing with anxiety. When you have anxiety in your head, you will create images or stories, or you'll create things that aren't necessarily true. You will prejudge something that may or may not happen. And
Dude,
because of that, you won't even try.
I'm starting to think
And
you had no sighting, bro. Like, come on. Like anybody who's had a sighting is being visited by CIA or FBI at
No,
some
no,
point.
that's not true. That's not true. That is
Or
not
we're not
anybody
true.
who's
disagreeing with you.
talking about
We're
it
not we're
seriously.
not
Like
No, that's
we're,
not true.
I've dealt with it, and I've dealt with a lot of people who've also
Right,
dealt
but
with it,
not everybody.
and
but
we're
that's
all
not
Listen to
the
going
me.
through the
advice.
same
Listen,
shit where they're
Savard.
like they're messing with you. They're messing with you at
Savard,
the
no,
same
Savard,
time.
listen
You
to
know
me.
what I mean?
That's your projected viewpoint. Let me straighten you out right now. I've been a contactee since the 60s. If governments want to mess with everybody that's had an encounter, they're not. If you think the whole world, if anybody's having visitations, that they're being knocked on the door by the CIA, that's not true. You can't just blatantly say that's the way it
They
is.
don't knock on the door; they slam the door.
If for you that's happening, for you, but that doesn't mean every single other person's having that happen. Do you understand what I'm saying? For
No, I
you.
get it. I get it.
Okay. But don't say everyone else is getting, that's just not happening.
That's an
Okay?
example of higher anxiety creating an image. We believe you. You
Right.
definitely have the contact, and you've had that experience. We're not pulling that away from you.
Right. We're
That's
not.
you're absolutely right.
And I know
What
you're
we're talking
scared.
about is giving you some calmness in your thoughts so that it doesn't overpower your day-to-day life, so that you can focus on what you really need to do and
Right.
absorb when people are trying to give you advice, so that you're not stuck in your head. You have an open
Right.
mind to calm yourself and take a deep breath and know, okay, so let's look at logic versus emotion. So if you're in a
Mm-hmm.
situation where the government shows up, you have a logical plan of action instead of an emotional reaction. And yes,
Yeah.
the government does mess with people. We definitely have
I get
heard it
that,
from other
but
people.
listen,
So, see the
Riley's
butt? Wait,
custom
wait, wait. See the
guitarist.
butt? Do you see the butt? That is what I'm talking about. About the anxiety will override your thought, and you
Just
immediately
please
go
hear
into.
me. Please
Oh,
hear
I will.
me.
We are
I'm
hearing
almost
you.
about
That's
to
the
stop.
thing.
I'm about to stop. I'm
Listen,
trying to point out a point. Is the but is the key word, or well, this, or like the image of self defeat before you go into it. Now I'll bow the mic.
it's not that. It's not that, Riley. Like just hear me out. It's like I get what you're saying. It's like don't be in your head. Focus on meditate, do this, do that. It's like I get that, but it's like the way that these people do the things that they do to mess with you. It's like
To
if
mess
you
with you. It doesn't mean they're messing with everybody else. Just said to mess with you. They're messing with you, not with us. You're the one we're trying to help. They're messing with you, not with us. They're messing with you. YOU.
yes, I understand that part. I do. I understand that part. And that's the part that makes me feel like okay, or maybe you guys have had an encounter, but you guys didn't talk about it much, or maybe you guys saw something, but you guys didn't say something to the wrong people. Maybe that's the case, but I feel like whatever the case is, they're on me for what I saw. So
Okay.
I get it. They're not on you. I get it. They're not on Riley. I get it. But for whatever the case is, they're on me for what I saw. So now I'm trying to deal with that.
What do
And
they
well, you're in
do?
a good place. We're trying to help you. I want to also put you on a hold for a minute. We have our guest on Shy, my good friend with the Department of Defense, and she's a top secret person. So I think, Savat, you might want to listen to some things she
Yes,
might be able to
I
say
would
to you.
love to hear how
So,
she deals
so
with
can
gang stalking.
can can I make a
Okay.
quick
Well,
suggestion before we
okay,
do
Riley,
before we
make a quick
proceed?
thing, and then we're going to bring on Shy here and let her speak.
Two last really quick, because I will mute my mic because I want Shy to take the stage. Commander, sometimes I advise you to mute the mic of some people, not out of rudeness,
Here
but
we
so
go.
that they can get it. No,
Just
I'm
be
not
a
even
man. Say
asking
what you're
you to.
gonna say. Come on, don't give me that.
No,
Come on, man.
I have had sightings.
Come
I've had
on, come on,
experiences. I don't
dude.
want to
Come
go
on.
into
Okay,
it.
one
I'm just
person
trying
at
to
a
Just
tell
time.
be a
you.
man and just
One,
tell me to say
one,
what you're gonna say, dude. Come
We
on.
want to
whoa,
take turns.
one
We want
person
to
at a
take
time,
turns.
please.
So I'm not saying to mute you. I'm not muting you. I'm not asking him to do that. I'm just saying as a general host, it's important that times that he get into that pattern.
Okay, well,
Just to,
great timing for that non-specific request that you claim is non-specific.
I'm
Great
I'm
timing
not.
for that.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
turn off my
Yeah,
own
yeah,
mic
yeah,
in a
yeah.
minute.
We're all
Okay.
retarded. Thank you. Thank you so much. So
I
can
didn't say that.
Shai
That's the
speak?
assumption from anxiety. That's exactly my point that I brought up before. We are
Okay,
assuming
we're gonna
things.
stop.
Okay,
We're
so
gonna
stop.
stop here because I'm the
Yeah,
host of the show, and I don't normally do this, but I'm taking control of the program here. So we're
yeah.
gonna stop, and I'm gonna let Shy speak. And while she's speaking, put your
All I
mics on
wanted,
mute.
all I wanted to finish off because I want Shy to talk is Commander, make a video about what your request about the Greer thing, so that you have it on your page, and then people can share out that request,
Well,
so then we can
I'll make
bombard
a
it.
video for that.
Okay, now I'll
And
bow out.
Skip the Grace is right. Everyone be respectful. So I want to welcome Shy here. And welcome. It's good to see you again. I had a psychic feeling you were going to be on tonight for some reason, so welcome.
Hi, I'm probably going to be here for just a little bit. I was only planning on watching, but I've got a flight tomorrow. But I heard this
Oh,
individual, and I honestly just feel bad because, obviously I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how to say your name, but I think I'm talking about the individual that's had some
yeah.
issues, whatever it may be. I don't know what you saw, I don't know how close you were to it, but I do have a couple questions, right? So we can kind of get to a conclusion here, and we can figure out
Right.
the best plan of action for you,
Yeah.
right? I think everybody in this call right now cares about you, right? And obviously I feel like this is a stressful situation for anybody. So let's figure it out. Does he have access to talk or?
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah. I'm glad you're on here. And I just want to let Savart know that's my friend in the DOD with top security clearance. She's in the government, so she can
Okay.
help you
Yes.
out.
Yes. We've all been in the government with top security clearance before. How do you
No,
think I ended up in this
do
mess?
you have top
Okay,
security
so
clearance,
How do
Savart?
you think I ended up in this mess?
what kind of
Okay,
clearance
well
do you have?
let Shy speak and listen to what she has to say. All right.
So what was your clearance, Almighty?
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
What was your
Go ahead,
clearance?
Shy.
So I'm Sai. So you did an EKIP and you got what? Like a secret security clearance or like a top secret? What did you get?
Yes, that's CI.
You got a secret.
That's not secret.
You said you got a top secret.
Nope. Yes, that's CI. Top secret, secure, compartmentalized information.
Okay, got you. So you should be well aware of what's happening to me right now, then, correct?
In a fashion, I've never gotten targeted, but I really want to ask you questions. So if you could just
Ask me
answer.
anything you want.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So in what form are you being harassed?
And what form? So let's say stalking, harassment, gang stalking, all kinds of stuff. Let me just go back because I was on the show a couple of days ago. I told them about the sighting. I told them about the encounter. I actually had two separate incidents, and this happened over 10 years ago. It didn't have any incidents for over 10 years, and it wasn't until I started talking about it that all of these interferences and sabotage and all kinds of stuff you can't prove or disprove kind of stuff started happening to me, and I realized I was being stalked, targeted, harassed by some three-letter agency. I'm not going to name any specific one, but I realized what was going on, and it's because if you were in the military and you had a secret security clearance and you saw something you maybe weren't supposed to see, and you start talking about things like anti-gravity and faster than light travel and how that's done, yeah, they start messing with you, and it's really messed up. They mess up your whole life. They'll mess up your reputation. They'll cut you off from friends and family. They'll mess up your money. They'll make you look crazy. They'll make you sound crazy. They'll make you maybe even homeless. They'll do all kinds of things, and they'll have people stalking you and trying to provoke you the entire time, trying to push you into doing something that you don't want to do, trying to push you into doing something that'll get you locked up. And I'm just tired of dealing with it, and I don't want to deal with it. And I get what they're doing, and I get why they're doing it. I was just asking if anybody else was dealing with the same thing. And when I got a bunch of people who were telling me, no, we're not dealing with the same thing, I started to wonder if they had had a sighting and spoke about it at all. And I wasn't questioning anybody. I know Riley got a little bit mad. I wasn't getting on Riley. I wasn't getting on anybody. But I was like, have you had a sighting at all? Because I've talked to other people who have, and they're also getting messed with.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. I feel you. And, there have been people that have been targeted, but something essential is not all people do. So now my next question, were you military or civilian? I'm not going to ask your agency who you worked with. I just want to know if you were in the military or, a civilian.
No, you don't have to ask. I'm so free with information because nobody had me sign a non-disclosure agreement and nobody had me not disclose information. I'm so free with information. So yes, I was in the military. I was in the army. I was in Afghanistan. And yes, I saw some things I probably should not have. And I'm trying to get some answers about what the hell I saw and what the hell is going on. Excuse my language, or what the heck is going on. But this is where it's at, and now I'm being messed with for it, and I don't really appreciate it. As somebody who has not broken any crimes, has not committed any, has not broken any laws, has not committed any crimes or anything like that, for somebody to just be messed with because they saw something, it kind of feels like you're targeting the victim, or like somebody who just saw something is the witness to something, and you're targeting the witness. It kind of feels a little bit messed up to me.
100%.
For somebody who served the country and damn near gave his life for this country, to be getting targeted by it because of something he saw, it's a little bit messed up to me,
It's a very bad situation, and I 100% feel for you. So, and again, we're trying to get to the resolution here. Like, obviously, this isn't a very easy process, and I'm sure you've had to deal with this for an extended amount of time. So, you might not know this information, but were you near a black site of any kind, owned and operated by any intelligence apparatus? Where was it that you saw this?
No.
Okay.
I was in Afghanistan as an infantryman in the military, in the U.S. Army, and the only people who owned and operated that site were me and us, the U.S. Army, and the Taliban. Those are the only people that I'm aware were in Afghanistan, RC South, in that time in that year, were the Taliban and the U.S. Army. So if the CIA or the FBI or somebody else is out there, I don't know who's out there, but if there's some black level government program or something that's out there, some unknown 3-letter agency that's out there operating as a black government, I don't know about that. However, there was some crazy shit going on. Excuse my language. There's some crazy stuff going on out there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there are a couple black sites out there, like by Takar. There's one up north near there, but were you near that area at all? Like, could you be specific? Like, if you were looking at a map of Afghanistan or something.
So if I was looking at a map of Afghanistan, the first thing you want to do is, I'll even give you guys time to Google a map, pull up Afghanistan, zoom into Afghanistan. The first thing you want to do is go south. You want to go to Kandahar. And then when you get to Kandahar, you want to go a little bit more south, and you want to look for things like Kandalay or Sanjare or maybe Fob Pasab, Fob Makwan or Fob Asherquay. We patrolled a lot of different regions in Kandahar. We were all out there for an entire year. It's a U.S. Army military unit, so we're all out there for an entire year. And there's more than the fucking Taliban out there. And it's
and we gotta watch the language.
Excuse my language. Excuse my language, but
just try your best.
I feel like you guys are more focused on the words that I use instead of the
just real quick, Almighty, real quick, right? If you do and somebody reports, his live will get taken down, and we're not going to be able to talk, right? That's the whole reason. I understand the situation sucks, and I feel for you 100%. So just try your best, right? That's all I'm asking.
Okay, but my main point is, yes, I was down there. And I experienced, encountered, seen, learned all kinds of things that I probably should not have. And I was okay, and everything was okay with that for maybe a decade, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 11 or maybe 12 years. But it wasn't until I started speaking about, hey, this happened, that happened, I saw this, I saw that. Now it's like all kinds of things are happening to me. And I would like for them to please stop, because I have not broken any laws by speaking about what I've seen. This is my main point. I think my main point is that by speaking about what I've seen, I have not broken any laws, because I was not given a non-disclosure agreement of any sort. I was not given a top security clearance or a secret security clearance of any sort to not discuss a certain thing. So if somebody asks me what I saw and I say, hey, I saw this, this, and that, I don't think 3-letter agencies should be on my ass, on my butt, messing with me because I saw something and I said something. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and 100%. That's happened before. Like we can take a look at Huntsville, Alabama. This happens all the time. So you might have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And if you're comfortable, I just don't want you to worsen your situation if you're in that situation, right? So was it a military assignment that you might have seen or witnessed, or was it something that you couldn't explain, or what was the
This
nature?
was not the military. So this is
Okay.
2011, and we saw something that was not us. I'm going to put it this way. In the U.S. Army and in the U.S. military, whether you're Navy, Air Force, Marines, whatever, if you're not us, you're a target, right? So like we were out there to look for the Taliban. We were out there to do counterinsurgency. We were out there to do anti-terrorism, blah, 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 blah. And while we're out there doing that, we see something that's not us and not them. You get what I'm saying? And so we're trying to figure out what it is. The daggone Taliban is trying to figure out what it is. We even reached the point where both us and the Taliban are kind of shooting at it together. We stopped shooting at each other to shoot at this thing together because
Was it a
what the
missile
hell is
defense
that?
system that we're talking about, like a mobile one, like the Patriot, or was it? Or do you not know the equipment?
I'm talking about a vehicle in the sky that looked like a
You're talking about
cloud but was
what?
not a
You're talking
cloud.
about a
Okay?
spaceship.
I'm talking about a
You're talking about a
vehicle in the
spaceship.
sky. No, stop. Let me talk. I'm talking about a vehicle in the sky that looked like a cloud but was not a cloud. And we looked at it because the military has very advanced technology. We looked at it from every different spectrum. We looked at it in night vision. We looked at it in heat vision. We looked at it in thermal vision. And we're like, why is that cloud hotter than all the rest of it? When you use thermal vision, that's actually when you can see them because they cloak as they have cloaks. Yeah. So it's like, why is that cloud hotter than all the rest of the clouds?
So
Why does that
Almighty, just
cloud
real
have
quick.
heat
Okay,
coming out of it?
Almighty,
You get what I'm
can you
saying?
please
All
be
the rest of the
respectful?
clouds have
Chesno.
are green on the screen. This one's
Almighty,
red.
real
Why is
quick.
this cloud
okay,
red?
Savat, you
And
need
so,
to, as host of the show, I'm going to put my hammer down in a second. You need to listen a little bit. We're hearing you. We hear you.
but can we
But
let me
listen to,
finish?
well, I'll let you
Almighty, just
finish,
real quick.
but please.
Look, it's just, and I understand it's a lot of stress, but everybody here is trying to help you. Just please, 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 please be respectful. That's all I'm asking. We care about you, every single one of us. It's just, and I don't blame you for being tense. I don't know if you can hear me right now. It says his live's paused, but
Yeah,
no
I think he
problem.
can hear you.
Well, just you got to keep calm, okay? Just try to talk slow, steady, breathe. I understand it's stressful. Oh, I think he's gone.
Oh, he left. That when anyone knows me, I never want someone to leave. We're trying to help them, but you can help somebody when they're talking and they're talking about what happened, and then they just won't take the time to listen. We want them to share, but
I
you
just
got to have a point where he lets Shy speak, and he listens a little bit. I know he's gone through a lot. I'm pretty sure of it. But you're not going to get anywhere, Savant, if you can't just sit still. I know it's tough, but we're all here to help you, I'm sorry you left.
I think the situation is, there's just a lot of stress. I don't think he was,
Yeah.
the rudeness. I don't think he was, I just think I was really trying to help.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get another opportunity to talk to him. I didn't even get to help him with a solution, but
He'll be back, I'm sure. He just needs to settle
I
down a
know.
little bit, I think.
Yeah, well, the only problem that came about is that when you're trying to recall the event, so he was stuck in trying to recall the event, and he didn't hear I'm Shy ask questions because he was trying to
Right.
be in his head, and what we were trying to get him to do is pause so that he could answer questions,
Right.
and he didn't see that, and that's just because he
Yeah.
was in his head telling the story. So no disrespect to him. I hope nothing happened to him. But the higher powers got to him. We definitely want him back because
Yeah.
he is me. So I've lived his life. I understand exactly what he's talking about when he gets interrupted and he gets
Mm.
stressed out. It is an
Mm.
ADHD trait. I had to figure this all out because of my spiritual awakening. So that's why I'm here.
it's good that we be sympathetic, especially us, like as higher
Mm.
level individuals, because you know I
And
he might be going through something, and it
Yeah, he
it
is.
well,
might start
you know
being
what's great? You know
Yeah.
what's, I don't mean to interrupt. You know what's great
Okay.
about this point, and I'll bring the show back to where it needs to be, is we all talk about the stuff that he was talking about. He's living proof of the things that we assumed earlier in the show, maybe a month ago, where we're talking about cloud vehicles and we're talking about like I might have had contact because there's storms over my head and I don't know that there's craft. He also confirmed what I said to Commander multiple times. When you do your CE5s and that stuff, try to get a thermal camera that reads heat signatures, because that is a telltale sign that electromagnetic can't hide from that heat signature. So
Well,
he's got
and I just
great.
want to bring it back over, and I appreciate that, Riley. I'm going to bring it over to Shai. I just want to say, as host of the show, anyone who knows me and has known me for what I do, you know, I know he's very scared. You know, he's so scared, and he's venting because he had no one to ever vent to. So I appreciate him being here. I hope he'll be able to come back and realize that we all want to help him. And that's my goal here on something like that, you know, to have seen something that wasn't earth based in the sky. I was trying to get him to understand that I was tuning in on his story. I knew what it was, but there was no time to get that understanding because he left. But we would love to help him, you
It
know?
could have been multiple things. Like we didn't get enough characteristics on the situation. You know, like it could have been we didn't know how long it was there for. It could have been a spy vehicle for all we know, just with the pure
Yeah.
context we had. So, you know, and I really, you know, and I think that's great. You know, Commander, you did awesome. I just, you know, I
And
admire you and
I
you
didn't know if I
for
was doing
sure.
good or not. I never ran into this on my show before,
Just, yeah, but, you
you
know, I
know?
think everybody, you know, if we ever see him again, um, you know, let's just try to talk to him, tell him we care. You know, we might have differing points of view or whatever, and that we are, you know, and if I don't know if he's here or not, but yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
he somehow sees this. But we just have to be sympathetic because, you know, these things can seriously start to take a toll, and I think every single one of you in the chat and in this panel can agree that he was probably under emotional distress. So,
Right.
Oh yeah, man. It was real hard to read because it sounded. I mean, you got to be going through a lot of torment to sound the way he sounded.
Yeah. Oh,
100%.
he sounded like he was very tormented, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
I was
so
Well,
trying to
sorry
help
I
him. He was on
wasn't
my,
on all night, guys. I was stuck in the rabbit hole.
but you know, I think when he came on my show the first time the other day, we're talking. I didn't know as much as I knew now. He told me his story, and I was interviewing him his story. But tonight he sounded like he was really under stress from what happened. And you know, I'm not denying that he's being watched or whatever, but you can't help somebody until they, you know, if they start releasing their information. I mean, in terms of their emotion, that is a way to start hopefully getting to reach that person to help them. You know, yeah, he sounded desperate, and you know, I've never had a show, even on my radio show, I've never had anybody like that to talk to. So I had to figure that out really quick in my head, being the host of this whole thing. How do I navigate with this person? And I was just trying to get him to just kind of calm a little bit and still express. But even that was hard to do at some point. But I hope he comes back because,
yeah.
you know, we
Yeah, I
do
mean, I
care about
really, I really feel so bad I wasn't able to be on because I think if I was on, I would have been able to talk to him on from a different,
him. Yeah.
on a different vibrational pattern.
Yeah.
Simply put, I feel like his frustration, and again, some people are like this, you know, frustration turns into anger. And
Mm,
um, so, you know, hopefully I get the opportunity to talk to him because I'd really like to help him. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I think there's ways to, you know, if he's experiencing what he's experiencing, um,
Yeah. I think you can help him too. I think you
I,
can if you would come
I would
back
just
on.
want to talk to him, you know, he's probably, you know, somebody said PTSD. I mean, that's the type of stuff that'll give you some severe trauma.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we sympathize, and I just hope
Hmm.
that things start getting better for him, and hopefully
Yep.
I can talk to him again and help him like try to assess the situation,
Yeah.
because you know,
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
PTSD
Commander,
sounds
correct
about
me if
right.
I'm wrong, but was this the same guy that had like the Men in Black stories from the other day?
I'm not sure which one there was. So many stories on this show. I don't know that was the same person, but he talked about he's being interfered with by some level of government. So, but I wasn't really totally sure. All the shows I do are recorded on YouTube, so you have to go back a show or two, and he's probably on there. Yeah.
Next time we get him on, we got a real opportunity, to help him, spiritually, and B, really see what kind of information he has and dissect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is not to dissect him. Let him go ahead and
Yeah.
see
Oh,
his
he's back. He's
information.
back.
Oh, his battery died. He's there.
Almighty, if you could join, we would love to talk to you. I mean,
Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
bring you back, man.
The only
He
thing I'll
doesn't know.
say
He
is,
doesn't know
guys,
who I am.
can I say something
If I
before he
get
finally
him,
comes
where
back?
is he? Is he in here? Yeah, he's here. Wait a minute. We're
When you
bringing
have
Survive back. His battery had died, so he's back, and he's got a lot of friends here. So we all love you, man. We all want to help you out.
Sure.
yeah,
Listen, I love all of you guys too. I'm not discrediting any of you. I'm not trying to come at any of you. My battery died. I ran upstairs. I just hooked it up to a charger. I'm at 2%. I just plugged it in. I'm charging. I'm charging as we
Oh, there you
speak.
go. Yeah,
Almighty,
But
that'll
like,
happen.
Almighty.
listen, guys. I love all of you guys too. I'm not discrediting any of you. I'm not trying to make any of you sound or look like you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure you've seen things and you know things, but blah blah blah. But why am I the only one that's getting messed with? Is
Almighty,
my main
real quick.
question. Like, I've seen things and I know things too. Why am I getting messed with and
I
nobody
understand.
else? I think that's my whole question in this whole thing. You know?
Almighty,
We'll
so
turn it over to Tom Shy.
something.
Let her
So
help you.
something we have to. So first things first. You weren't here, but we were just talking about how frustrated this must be, and that we sympathize with you 100%. So I just want you to know that we all care. And also,
Yeah.
I don't blame you for acting, in the way that you are, because this is a horrible situation you're going through. I just want you to know that. So, in the nature of this, I just want to ask you some more questions. And I think really the reason that you're being pursued is probably because of the nature of where you worked, right? So you worked in the military, and maybe you just saw a military we don't know, right? So I have to get some more questions, and hopefully we can try to narrow down what's going on, how we can help.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
and I'm happy to answer all the questions, but just to touch on something you just said,
Hmm.
I did not see a military operation.
I
We were
understand.
in the army, and when we saw it, as infantrymen, we are the guys on the ground, so we have rifles and we're the boots on the ground. So when we see something in the air that we don't understand, we call the Air Force. So like as the Army, we called the Air Force, and the Air Force didn't freaking understand it either. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we literally
Yeah.
called the Air Force and they were like, no, not us. What the hell is that? Well, excuse my language, but they were like, no, not us. And they came and they dropped a J dam on it, which is a very, I don't know how to say it. It's a very
Right
powerful
there.
thing that goes boom, right? It's a very powerful thing that it goes boom, and they dropped the Air Force dropped a J dam on it, and it bounced off and had no effect on this thing, and then this thing disappeared. And so what I'm saying is like me, I know that I'm just one guy in the army, but then I tell the rest of the army, and they're like, we don't know what it is either. And then the whole army is like, we don't know what it is. And then they call the Air Force, and the Air Force is like, we don't know what it is either. And then the Air Force comes and they try to do something to it, and it bounces off, and then this thing just disappears, flies away faster than the speed of light. And all the whole army, Air Force, everybody's just standing there in Afghanistan scratching their heads like, what in the hell, what in the heck was that? You get what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's getting me, I don't know, in trouble. Am I in trouble? Am I in trouble for talking about this?
I,
Like,
So can
hey,
I?
I'm
bud, how
not
you
having a
doing?
good go of it since I've started speaking of this. I have not been having a good go of life. That's all I'm trying to say.
So did
You
you,
guys get what I'm
when you
saying?
were communicating, right? Was it through like a, which I don't know if you're going to know the term, but I'll explain the acronym, like a JTAC, or which is a Joint Terminal Attack Controller? Was it Joint Special Operations Command? What was it? Like, how did you,
Listen, lady, you sound really high tech and really high up there.
I'm sorry.
As the infantryman, I was the guy who's boots on the ground. We call it a radio. So we communicated through the
I'm
radio,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
right? We called them up on
I
what
feel
I would
that.
call a walkie-talkie. We called them up on what I would call a walkie-talkie, and we contacted them via what I would believe are radio signals. And the
Understandable.
Air Force came and they were like, we don't know what that is either. And they tried to bomb it. Excuse my language. They tried to boom it. but it didn't boom. Things usually when they boom things boom, and they boom really big and really loud, and it's
Okay.
unmistakable that they boomed something. But this time it didn't boom, and so
Then
that's
boom.
why we were like, "What the heck is going on?"
Yeah.
Let me ask one question. I'm sorry, I'm going to let you get in there. Did the thing start attacking anybody, this object, or was it
No,
just being shot
no,
at?
it just seemed to be watching us all. It just seemed
So
to be watching us
so
all.
then why did they start shooting at it if it was only observing?
Because okay, so I have the consciousness that you have now, and I'm like, you know, they're our friends, they're from another planet, they're here to blah blah blah. I have that consciousness now, but when I was 21 and in the army, none of us had that consciousness. There's a thing in the sky that
Right.
we don't know what it is, and it needs to
Right.
come down, so we need to figure out what
Right.
it is.
And this
That's
I
was
got
that's
you.
what
and this was
that's
this
what the
was a while
mentality
ago.
was at the time. That's what the mentality was at the time. There's a thing in the sky, and we don't know what the heck it is, and it needs to come down, so we need to figure out what it is. And so we tried to boom it. We tried to do all kinds of things. It did not come down. It flew away faster than anything can physically fly away on this planet, is what I will
So,
say.
how many other people were with you, like infantrymen?
50. No. I'm not going to say 50. It's
Okay.
literally, if I'm going to give an exact answer, upwards of 200, maybe 300, but only 50 saw it at the time because some people are eating, they're at the DFAC, they're eating lunch. Some people are sleeping, they're in their tents, they're asleep, they didn't see it. How many people were outside of their tents and actively roaming around when this happened? About 50 or 60 people.
So was this over a point of operation or a military installation?
If I'm going to keep it real, we were really just chilling that day, and then this thing showed up.
Okay,
I,
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if that really makes sense, but
That's
this
fine.
wasn't really a day when we were out doing things. We were really just
Hmm.
kind of not doing anything for the day, chilling, hanging out, eating, going on computers. Everybody's in their room, I don't know, playing cards, playing soccer,
Hmm.
whatever. And then this
Hmm.
thing shows up, and then we hear a village that we know is infested with Taliban. We know it's infested with the Taliban because that village is the whole reason that we're there. We wouldn't be there if it wasn't for this village. So we know this village has Taliban in it because they're the reason we're here. And so we're here, and we hear shooting coming from this village, and it's going up towards the sky, and they appear to be shooting at a cloud. Why the heck are they shooting at a cloud? I don't know the Taliban very well, but from what I know, they usually shoot at us. They don't shoot in the air at clouds. You know,
Okay.
maybe if they're celebrating, they'll shoot in the air. But we looked into it, and why is that cloud hotter than all the rest of the clouds? And so we called the Air Force, like, you know anything? And they were like, we don't know anything. And they came in and tried to boom it, and it did not boom. And we're all standing there, Taliban, Air Force, Army, everybody standing there going, what the heck is this thing?
Okay. So, I guess I have a couple different questions. How did the Taliban know about it? One, and two, was there any
They
light?
saw it.
I have that question too, and I sincerely have that question because us as the U.S. Army, we have different ways of seeing things. So we obviously have our own eyes, but that doesn't see everything. So we have night vision, and we have thermal vision, and we have heat vision, and we have X-ray vision. And this is even back in 2011. We could see things on different spectrums of the light spectrum. And it wasn't until thermal vision that we realized that cloud seems to be hotter than all the other clouds. So I also have the question of how the Taliban were able to see that because they don't have the technology that we have unless they unalived one of us and took our stuff, which they usually do. That's how they get their helmets. That's how they get their body armor. That's how they get their M4s because usually they have AK-47s, but sometimes they get M4s. And it's because if they were able to unalive one of us, they can get your night vision goggles or something like that. So maybe somebody in that
Yeah,
town had something, as usually is the case.
that would be my guess. So do you have a time? Like, how long was it there for?
Longer than it should have been for something that's, if it's trying to stay covert, if it's trying to
Well, how
stay
many minutes?
unseen, maybe 25, maybe even 30 minutes. It
Hmm.
did not take it took its time. It took its time. It was not quick about what it did. You know, it
Hmm.
was there, and it was almost like it wanted them to see it, and it was almost like it wanted us to see it. And it wasn't until we called the Air Force, and then that didn't work. And then maybe 7 or 8 minutes later, then it left. After that, it's almost like it gave us another chance to try something, and like knowing it wouldn't work, like you want to try, but You know, like it's almost like they waited around even after the Air Force tried. It was like no, you know, like it stayed there longer than it should have, in my opinion. First, I think
Well,
if we're a military, we try to stay covert and unseen, and if they're the
mhm.
enemy, they try to stay covert and unseen. And I've never seen anything that I feel like wanted to be seen out there. You know what I
So
Do you
mean?
think that? Well, I got to ask one question. I'm going to turn it back over to Don Shy. So I'm really questioning the fact that the Taliban was shooting at this what I think was a spaceship, and then everyone else was starting to shoot at it. Now this thing was observing and not shooting, or wasn't shooting beams at anybody, or killing anybody, or coming out there and taking you, abducting anybody. But yet on Earth, this is always my point, and I'm glad you're sharing this, Sabat. It's really crucial that you get this out of yourself and share it with us. Is that it? Just seems like, did somebody give orders? I can't speak for the Taliban or who their leaders are at that point in 2011, but were you given orders to start shooting at it, or just people freaked out and started shooting at it?
No, just the Air
No,
Force, I think.
no. There was not necessarily a get. So I'll explain it this way: if things happen that we know are gonna happen, anticipate to happen, are ready to happen, there's like orders and a set protocol. So like I don't wanna give military secrets or say anything, but like the army is kind of very rehearsed. I wanna say it's very rehearsed. It's like if the Taliban shoot at you, this is how we react. We do battle
Mm-hmm.
drill one effort. And if this happens, if an IED goes off, this is how we react. We have this convoy formation. And if this
Mm-hmm.
happens, we have this. And if this happens, we have that. But when something like that happens, nobody really knows what to do. So nobody was
Mm-hmm.
giving orders or saying, do this, do that. People
Yeah.
were kind of just like, this thing showed up and things just kind of just started happening. Nobody was
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
telling anybody to do anything. Like, you do this, you do that. Like,
Right.
that's for the rehearsed kind of reactions of, the army has basically everything planned out to a T except for stuff
Mm-hmm.
like this. This
Right.
stuff like this, if you weren't told about it and you don't know about it, you can't have a
Mm-hmm.
reaction and a plan ready for it. So, like, no, there was no plan. I'll say it that way. I know
Okay.
it makes it
All right.
sound
so
bad. I know it makes it sound really bad, but there was no plan when that thing showed up. There
okay,
was
Okay.
no,
gotcha.
yeah.
So that I think you mentioned some other stuff earlier, but I think that in itself isn't enough for you to be targeted. So what I'm starting to think is I don't know what you've had information on, what you've been involved in, but I feel like there's something else, and whatever it is, I encourage you to, and this is going to be it's just going to be some regular advice. I mean, don't talk about it anymore. Don't come on lives. Don't talk
Nah,
about.
they gotta pay me to not talk about it. I'm gonna talk about this
Well,
until
then
they
this.
either unalive me or they pay me to not talk about it. Like,
Okay, I got you.
listen,
Well, the
I'm
issue
not.
won't
No,
stop then.
I'm very serious about what I'm saying. And so, like, the reason why you feel that way, like you feel like there's more to this, is because you were not here the first time. So right now, I'm describing the sighting. The
Mm-hmm.
first time I was here with Commander Alaron, if I'm not saying that correctly,
Leon, it's all right. You're almost
Alaron,
there.
well, the first time I was here, I described the encounter. So there was actually two incidences there. There was not just
Yeah.
one, but there were two. So right now I'm describing the sighting. The first time I was here, I described the encounter. And so I'm shy. I don't think you were here the first time when I described the encounter. So,
Yeah. Share the encounter with her, because she probably wasn't here to hear that.
I
okay.
do have a
So,
flight tomorrow, so I can't stay up too late, but I got like 30 more minutes.
all right. So I'll try to keep this as quick as possible. So that was the first time I described. The second time, I'm asleep. I'm in my tent. I'm inside the fob, which is just FOB, forward operating base. It's just a thing that we built where we hang out, I guess, or where we live when we're in
Mm-hmm.
another country, right? So I'm in the fob. I'm asleep. I'm in my tent. It's like 2 a.m. I wake up instantly out of my sleep. Instantly, never woke up like that before. Usually when you wake up, it's like you slowly gain consciousness and then you slowly open your, kind of half dreaming, half awake until you slowly. No, this time, instantly woke up from deep sleep to like wide awake. Like, I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. So I put on my shoes, I grab my cigarettes, I grab my lighter, I go outside. I'm walking down to the smoking area because they had moved it. we used to smoke wherever we want, but they had moved it to a further point. So I'm walking down to the smoking area, and then I see these three red lights in the sky in the shape of a triangle. They're like reddish, orangish lights in the sky in the shape of a triangle. And they're hovering over me. They're so low that I feel like if I had a football or a rock or something, I could have thrown it up in the sky and hit this thing. It's maybe
Was it
maybe
solid?
20 meters. Yes, it's maybe 20 meters low. It's maybe about twice the size of a school bus in length and width, but it's a triangle shape. So if you could imagine that, but it's very low. I felt like if I had a rock in my hand, I could have threw it up in the sky and hit this thing. It's about 20 meters low, maybe like 40 feet, and I see this thing, and then it flies off to the right, faster than the speed of light, faster than anything. It almost looked like it disappeared. Hang on one second. They're doing construction outside of my window. I'm gonna walk off really quick. Just give me 1 second here.
Take your time.
Man, this is kind of cool. This is awesome. I'm
Yeah, I'm
sorry.
trying to listen. I'm trying to be quick because I know you only have 30 minutes or something like that. But yeah, this thing flies off faster than the speed of light to the right.
Was
So,
there a hum?
I turn around, I say, forget this cigarette. I don't need this. I turn around, I'm walking back to my tent, and I'm saying to myself, like, no, I didn't just see that. That didn't just happen. That's not happening. And then I come face to face with what was definitely not a human, definitely not any creature I've ever seen on this earth before. Had gray skin, big black eyes, come face to face with this thing. And I feel like it communicated with me telepathically, pulled me. This is going to sound really stupid, but I'm going to say it just because it is what it is. But I feel like this thing pulled me out of my body, like almost like into like an astral kind of thing. And it's just like was communicating with me like that. And this is why when I was on here the first time and I was talking to the commander, I was like, why would it choose me? I'm nobody special. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just some kid from the Bronx. Why the heck would anything travel across the galaxy to look for me or to choose me? And this thing pulled me out of my body and was like, I was kind of like in an astral field or an astral realm or whatever, communicating with this thing. And I just was like, yo, just put me back. Just put me back. I don't want to be here. Like, yo, I know it sounds dumb, but I was 21 at the time, and I'm just like, yo, just put me back. Put me back. I don't want any part of this. Put me back, and then we'll just act like this never happened. And that's kind of what it was. And then
Well, you're getting noise
years
in the
later,
background.
when I start talking about it, now I'm getting harassed and stalked and everything by 3-letter agencies, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on in this situation where they're trying to mess with me,
Yeah, and that's I'm glad that you're
Hey,
hearing that.
Shy,
So, yeah.
do you think there's a possibility that could have been like a psyop? Like are people doing a psyop on him?
His description of the craft, sounds like the Black Mana, and I already know,
Right.
for like a matter of fact, they do have synthetic operations like for this kind of thing. But the thing that doesn't make sense to me, right, is his out of body experience, right? So he had this
Yeah,
OBE.
that doesn't make sense.
Now, so I wouldn't say the craft sounds like literally just the Black Mana, but the fact that he had this, I'll call it astral experience as he calls it, right, is weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Almighty. So look, there's only a couple solutions here, right? Or really just one. And you kind of said it yourself. If you're looking for money, I don't think you have enough for them to give you money. People that get money are like Luis Elizondo or somebody that has intimate knowledge about these things. So my suggestion, and you don't have to listen to it, but I'm trying to help you because you just sound like a genuine person. This sounds like it's been eating.
And Almighty, Shy, you do know somebody who has been unalived because of this, correct?
But wait, let her finish before I
Yeah.
respond. I want to hear.
He's right, but I just more than anything, your safety is important, right? I don't know you. I've never met you, but I care about you. So I really would just like you to stop talking about it, because I don't doubt that you're getting targeted. You know, I've seen it happen, you know, to certain people, but you know, you have to
Okay.
understand sometimes things are not worth it, and this is one of those times.
Yes, and I totally understand you, but here's my perspective.
Hmm.
And I know you said it sounds like the TR3B Black Manta. I've looked into that as well because
Hmm.
obviously, from given what I've seen, I'm not gonna not look into this. So I've looked
Yeah.
into it as well, and it's like,
Right.
oh, the government has made something similar to what I've seen as well. So it sounds like the
Mm.
TR3B Black Manta, the anti-gravity craft that runs off of basically highly pressurized mercury running through a
It's really
copper coil
electromagnetic though in
run by
nature.
like nuclear power. Like I get
Yeah.
that. So like I
Yeah.
get that it looks like that thing.
Yeah.
However, that does not describe the gray person I saw that was
Right.
very tall
That's
with
the
the
thing.
big black eyes that were bigger than
Yep.
avocados. The
I
That's
don't
big
think
black
that
Well,
was.
eyes that were
I don't
bigger
think
than
that was government. I
avocados.
think that was definitely an extraterrestrial experience when he told me the story.
it's
I
just weird.
firmly believe that's what it was.
It's just weird that did you hear like a hum of any sort, like with the craft?
No, no, it
Hmm.
was totally silent.
So it
It was
doesn't
so
really.
quiet out there. It was so quiet out there. I could hear my own heartbeat inside of my body,
Hmm.
inside of
Hmm.
my ears. I
So
could
did
hear
you?
my own breathing and my own heartbeat. That was all I heard. It was so quiet out there. There was nothing else.
So do you think it was different from like the typical Black Manta or like the Tier 3B? It was a different
Yes.
craft. Awesome. Okay, yeah.
Only because of the being that I saw after I saw
Right.
it. If
Well, the
I would
thing
have
That's
is,
saw a
right.
human,
the Air
if I would have
Force.
saw a human after I saw it, I'd have been like, okay, government project. I'll never speak about it. But because I saw the being after I saw it, I was like, that's not ours. That can't be ours.
Well, so
And
you
the
know, the
being
Air
was
Force
trying to.
actually ran a program
Uh,
where they had abducted people, but not in the
yeah.
typical fashion of you. They had synthetic beings. They're multi-billion-dollar, granted, almost $300 billion.
Mm.
And usually there was a human also involved for anesthesia. So that's where we start to lose like track. So you know, I think for all of us to try to conclude what it was is frankly futile right now. Like I think what's most important is helping you, right?
Yeah.
So
And
I
I don't
don't think
think you
it was
should
human.
stop. I don't think you should stop talking about it. I think it's healthier for him to speak of it than to hold it inside. That's not healthy for anybody. Especially the one point that he made when he was walking and the being encountered him and like a merging of consciousness. Like the being, you didn't feel, Almighty, that the being was trying to abduct you. It was trying to communicate with you, correct?
No, I feel like it was just. I feel like it was telepathy. Like it spoke to me without sound. It spoke to me without
Right.
words. It spoke
Right.
to me
Telepathy.
directly into my head, and it was
Yeah.
just like stop. And I knew exactly where it came from, and I knew exactly who said it. And I looked right at him, and it was like it was communicating with me, but no sound.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, Commander, I get what you're saying, right? But like, if he is being targeted, and
Yeah.
obviously it's not healthy to bottle it up, but like his safety does come first, right?
Safety does come first. He's got to figure a way to be able to speak, but also he needs to find a way to take control and empower
Yeah,
himself
hundred
spiritually,
percent.
which is one of the things I teach in my classes.
Can
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a tough situation.
I
hey,
add?
sorry,
Can
bro,
I
we
add
lost
something that's
you.
important to this?
Yeah.
Let me add something that's important to a point of view for him to consider and all of us, right? Is that if everything in the military was recorded, this incident was also recorded. So the military wants to wrangle up the people that were involved in this sighting. So if they start to talk to one or two people in his unit that had the same sighting and now they believe the same story like what he's telling us, which I absolutely 100% believe that he was part of an observation, so to speak. And they gathered data, so it could have been a field op for the UAP, so to speak. And he's important. He needs to understand he's important because he's had that experience and there was a reason for that experience. And
Mm,
yeah, we're right. He needs to consider his safety above all. Absolutely.
of
He
course.
just
Yeah.
he should try to focus on what that information that he got, and also understand that he's not alone. His whole unit went through what he has, so he doesn't have to disbelieve that anybody doesn't believe him because he has his comrades in arms that should believe him.
Have
But
Right.
you
And he's
now,
talked
not
to
alone.
any
And
of
he's
them?
also not alone. Go ahead, I'm shy.
Have you talked to any of your, I don't know, fellow infantrymen, Almighty?
Yes, and so 50 or 60 of them were there for the sighting. but nobody was there for the encounter. It was just me that was there for the encounter. But for the sighting, about 50 or 60 other people saw it, and I talked to them about it, and some of them are like, oh yeah, I remember that. Some of them are like, oh shit, I forgot about, excuse my language.
Well,
Oh, you're lagging a little bit, Almighty.
he's lagging a little bit on
I
the.
remember, yeah, I remember that. And others had told me like, oh yeah, maybe they might have had, I think he pulled out his camera. He might have drive. You know, this was 12 years ago. I don't know. Maybe it's in my old house. I can't find it. I gotta look into it. It just became a whole thing, and I never got the video. But there's rumors speculating that somebody maybe has a video of the sighting, but nobody can find it as of right now. If that makes any sense.
Well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there is a video of an encounter from what supposedly is a Taliban, from the Taliban side of an encounter in Afghanistan from like 2011 when they were shooting at it. So for all we know, that could be the video from their end.
There could be.
I believe it.
I
I believe it because they were not discreet. These guys, it's almost like they wanted to be seen. They were out there for like a half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. They were out there for a long time. It's almost like they wanted us to see them. It's like they wanted us to do something. It's like they wanted, I don't know. I can't speak on what they want. I'm just guessing, but it's like,
Right.
I'm thinking about it from my perspective. And if I were somewhere for that long, I would definitely be aware that people are seeing me. Like if I go to the 7-Eleven to the store and I stay there for 40 minutes, I'm aware that everybody here in the 7-Eleven can see me. You know, so I believe that they're aware that we saw them. I think they wanted us to see them.
So Almighty,
Well,
if
obviously,
you're like,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so
I'm sorry.
for
Go ahead.
instance, like when I'm talking about certain things, I've taken precautions. For example, I don't sound like this. I'm using multiple gateways to make sure I can't be tracked. I'm not even using my actual phone. This is a phone without a SIM card in it. So what I encourage you to do is to try to enact safety when you're talking about the subject. If you're not going to stop talking about it, which would honestly be my advice, because I mean I've seen people talk a little too much, and you know the repercussions weren't nice for their career, their livelihood, or even their life. And so,
I've already been through that. They've already done all that to me. They've
but they're still
destroyed my
here.
career. They destroyed my life. I lost my family. I lost my fiance. I lost my house. They've destroyed my finances. They've destroyed everything. They got random people around me stalking me. They've already hit me as hard as you could hit somebody without unaliving them. They've already told me in every single way to stop dealing with this. And
So
what this is telling me is that they are really serious about me not telling anybody about this. And what this is also telling me is that this is going to sound fucked up, but I'm from New York, so this is kind of how we think. But what this is also telling me is that there's an opportunity to make a lot of money here if I were to start a business that kind of involved this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, and 100%. So if you've seen schematic, well, you know, I want to say that, but people have tried just like you. I encourage you to do research in Huntsville, Alabama. That's probably the best case that correlates to you. I mean, they tried to make a business out of it and it did not end well. So, you know,
But why is like somebody like Elon Musk allowed to start a space business and try to send people to Mars, and somebody like
he's right
Jeff
there.
Bezos is allowed to start a space business and try to send people to outer space? But
I have
somebody who
I have
actually knows how, but somebody who actually knows how anti-gravity and faster than light travel works is not allowed to start a space business, and this guy's getting harassed to
Well,
death.
because they're
Why
not
does
doing
that
that, right?
happen?
They're not using, and really, I think the better term is like electromagnetic, because we're talking about Mercury, and some other properties that would make it typically not. It sounds like anti-gravity, but it's technically not. You were right about the concept, but so you know these people. Remember, they're working closely with the government. Like, for example, the NGA has access to Starlink satellites. Amazon is a contractor. Did you know that? We do contracts for them.
I would
For
like to
certain
be a
people.
contractor too. I would,
You
whatever
could.
business I start, I would totally work with Boeing or Raytheon or Lockheed Martin or whoever the government is dealing, or NASA or whoever in the government that wants to deal with this technology. I would totally work with it too. But is my knowledge not valuable if nobody
Yeah,
It
else
is.
knows
I can
anti-gravity
I
and
But
can
I
help
do?
with
Is that
you.
not
I can
valuable?
answer that
Why am I
question.
poor when I know about anti-gravity? Why am I poor? You get what I'm saying? Like, why am I poor when I know about this?
Almighty, try to get in touch with Dr. Greer. I know that that's far fetched, but he's got a system and a program and people like you trying to put that zero energy into actual application. That is his business he's trying to start up. So if you can get in contact with his people, they have programs that they're trying to do where they want your technology.
Also,
You know,
Almighty, if you have that knowledge and you get a skill set, um, I don't know how well you did on your ASFAB, but you could honestly, you would be less of a threat to them if you started working with a contractor. You could start small. You could go to a place like Boeing, Bigelow, and you would have that safety net as where you're actually having your livelihood back. But you might have to go to college a little bit longer, but that's just kind of something you're going to have to do. They might even
Mm-hmm.
pay for it if you're applicable. You could get a job under the Department of Defense if you have the skill set. I don't know what your skills are. I don't really have a lot of time left, but I'm going to give you like a last piece of advice, just from my perspective. And you could start to build your life up again, because at that point you're not a threat. But the worst thing you could do is make threats to them. The worst thing. That's the worst thing. You,
Uh,
I
I've
know
already,
you've got to stop.
yeah,
It's a risk.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I understand. This sucks. I mean, the trials and tribulations you've been through are
Mm.
horrible. The fact that you've been put through this is unexcusable. And I think the best thing you can do, because remember, you're working against the kingdom. So the best thing you can do is try to recuperate, try to slow down, take safety steps and precautions when you're talking about things. Use a voice changer. I mean, that's what I do.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Use
I
multiple
know,
voices.
but I'm aware of the technology they have, and literally anything you do on your phone, they can undo. So, like, if you
Well,
turn your
to a
camera
certain
off, they
extent, yeah.
can see through it, and if you turn your mic off, they can still hear you. And if you
There
use
are
a
things
voice
you can
changer,
do.
they can still hear your
Here,
voice.
tell
And
you what. Here, tell you what. Add me. I'll walk you through how to make a full safety net. There's not NSA is not going to be able to do anything. You're, I just would like to talk to you and guide you, through this process. I could maybe even send you some help you get a job. So you might have to do some extra schooling, but if you want to get your life back on track, and if you were in the military, like you say you are, you'd your background check you know would be clear
Mm.
today. You'd be squeaky clean, and you'd probably go to Secret or TS
Mhm. There you
and
go.
start
I'm
There
working.
up
you
for
go.
it. I'm willing. So I just added you, and hopefully you add me back, and
I
hopefully
did.
we stay in touch.
And that
There you
Yeah,
go.
is
See?
why we
I'm
are a
up for it.
tribe, my friends. That
That's why
is
we're
why
here.
we are
That's why we're
here.
here.
All right, Almighty. I've got to head
You
out,
know?
but I wish the best for you.
Hey, I'm
And if
shy.
you, yeah,
I was going to say, I know you got to head out. Have a good trip. I
thank
know
you.
you didn't mean to come on tonight, but I think the universe works in very important ways. And I think Almighty and you connecting with Almighty, helping him, I think that's beautiful. Almighty, we love you. The beings that I work with directly off planet love you. The positive beings, the Ashtar people that I've had contact with as a kid. And I want you to know
Thank you,
you're
Sky.
loved here and you're always welcome here. We want you to feel welcome here and we want you to get peace within yourself. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came back on.
Yeah, and Almighty,
Thank you,
you're good.
guys. I appreciate it. And I'm shy. I know you have to go. I just want to say thank you for the information. Thank you for the insights. I appreciate everything you've done, and I appreciate everything you've shared with me. And hope to be in touch with you soon.
Yes, sir. It'll be nice talking to you. Good night, y'all. Have a great night.
Bye.
Okay, I'm shy. Have a safe trip. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. And Almighty's with us. We send Almighty a lot of love. Also, please show, if you support the kind of thing I'm doing here on TikTok and the commitment I have in what we're doing, including with working and helping Almighty, which I think is really important. Please show and gift the show. You can Venmo our account too at CmdrAleon 2022. Go to my link for Venmo. Please show some gifting here. This has been a really important night, and
Oh,
it's not just
Kenzo.
me. It's about helping somebody, and I think it's really important. There are times when we have to do this, and if we don't do this, then I'd be a hypocrite. So yeah, you know. We're glad that you're here, man.
Seriously, yeah.
Thank
Sorry
you.
I
I
was
want to hear
late.
from Riley and Rabbit Hole because I think they were trying to say something the whole time. I just wanted to hear
Oh,
their
okay.
insight.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
my
When
co-host
Shy
is James.
when
James,
Shy
go ahead.
talks, we let her speak because her time is
We do.
precious to
It
us.
really is. You know,
And
it's
really,
just,
listen. Reach out to her. I speak to her. Outside of this forum, and she's got a wealth of knowledge. She's worked with people that have been in your situation, and like she was telling you, there is
yeah,
redemption. There's redemption there. And then beyond that, you have to start working on your spiritual gifts because there's a
right.
reason that you had contact,
Yeah,
and you can be a resource. Look at Shy. She is, she's in the DoD, but she's also all about disclosure and supporting the whistleblowers, and like she's in there, side by side with those people, and that's what you can do, dude. You can be in there side by side doing the work of helping to expose the disclosure and,
yeah,
and
I
getting
feel
a
that.
nice paycheck for it.
I feel that. I feel that. I'm very thankful for Shy and for all of her information, and I'm glad that when she said it was the TR3B, the Black Manta, I was like, what that tells me is that the government is also working on the thing that I've seen. So they're
Oh
also
yeah,
it tells me that they're aware. They know that that
see,
thing exists. They know that it's out here, and they're working on their own version of it because I've seen their
yeah.
version of it as well. And
you're
so
gonna have
that
to go
tells
to
me.
the YouTube Commander's YouTube and check out. Just look up all the episodes with Shy on it because boy,
Yeah.
that's
The
nothing.
other
The
thing is,
TRT that the Black Manta is nothing compared to what they just launched a few weeks ago to
right.
Jupiter.
Wow,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
have they
That
got
and
now? What have they
Almighty.
got now?
The beautiful thing is your story that you talked about. This is where it becomes a situation where it wasn't our government, because you had that situation where you were the only person out there that ran right into an extraterrestrial being that actually telepathically communicated with you. And I know I know the operations where, and I'm sure I explained it about the Manta, our Earth-based reversed engineer technology. Your experience was that you connected with an intelligent being that wanted to communicate with you, and that was not government. That was definitely, as I was listening and then listening to the story again, it was definitely a off-planet being that you connected with, and for whatever reason, it wanted you. You were chosen to make the connection with it. So you have, I think, a lot more also from my spiritual perspective, being with off planet, coming here from another planet. I read things differently than most Earth people do. And my reading is that you also come here from somewhere else. You came here with a great deal of knowledge. You're just not some regular person. Although if you want to think you are, that's fine. But you really have a great deal more knowledge of knowing things. You're a quick learner. And yeah, I really feel strongly that after hearing the part of the encounter, or the merging between you and the other being, it was totally not us. It was definitely off planet. Just to let that be clear for people that were not sure what that was.
I know, but that's the
Definitely.
most confusing part to me is because I literally am just a regular guy from New York, from the Bronx. I'm not a
Are
special
Right.
guy.
you
I
what? Are
cannot
you
emphasize this
spiritual?
enough. I am not smarter. I am not more handsome. I am not more physically fit than anybody else you've seen in your whole life. I am
No,
not, I'm
listen.
no better than anybody. So why the heck would they pick me? Is my that's where my whole confusion comes from.
Why would they pick you?
Almighty.
Because you, well, before you get into James, the reason why they would pick you is because you think you're not somebody other than just a regular guy. We all used to think we were regular guys and gals until we were contacted. The reason is there's a lot more to you. If you once you get into connecting with your inner self, you'll see that there's another aspect of you that's a cosmic level. And once you learn about that, you're going to see, yeah, you're a regular guy. When I'm going out to the world and interacting in a market or something, I'm just a regular guy. But if people knew that the things I know, they'd say, well, You're not a regular guy. So you are a regular guy, but on another level, once you know who you truly are cosmically and spiritually within, you're going to realize that it's okay to be not a regular guy. You see what I mean?
I understand. I
You're
understand your point.
you're
You
about
know,
to start your new journey. We are watching you start your new journey. So if you um, think about it this way. If you were telepathically communicated, you were also telepathically probably scanned out of your group. So the beings can sense your true consciousness, your true heart, your true intentions, your true neutrality, your true love that you might have had in your heart. All of those things they can sense in people before they even need to make any contact. I would imagine. Maybe it's an assumption, but that's what I truly feel. So you were
No, I
chosen in
get
that.
you.
And I have Grace here. Grace is a great person. She's a good friend of ours. She's with our Ashtar Command C5 group. Welcome, Grace,
No,
to Encounters, the late night show.
but hang on. But Riley, I get what you're saying. It's just that like my whole thing is I swear on my life, I swear to God, I am not trying to start a new journey. I'm not trying to be a new person. I'm literally just trying to pay my debts and pay my bills. And
And
I swear to you, I'm the most normal guy you'll ever meet. I'm literally just trying to live a normal life and pay my debts and get out of debt and pay my bills. And I'm
let,
not trying to start a whole new journey. And I don't know
I,
why they
I,
would choose
let,
me for this kind of thing. Because I'm not,
let,
I feel like I'm not, I feel like they chose the wrong guy if that's the case. I feel
No,
let
like
they
they
me
never
chose the
let me
make a
wrong guy.
answer that.
mistake.
Let me answer
Yeah.
that for you.
Hey
There's a,
guys, I just want to say hello.
hello.
Hey, Grace,
hey,
come on
Grace.
in.
Hey, Riley, I just want to say something to our guest. It's I'm trying to get the name. I want to get it right. Almighty. How you
Yes,
doing, Almighty?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I grew up in New York too. I'm actually from Queens.
Oh, nice. I'm from the Bronx.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I wanted to say that I think that what you have to do, I mean, my recommendation is that you need to breathe a little bit. And it sounds like you're caught up in a really high frequency and you're kind of like in a little bit of chaos. You're caught up in like a chaos state of mind. You got to
Yeah.
bring it down just a little bit or try to bring it down. And when you say the word, I'm not trying, and then you say, but I could make money doing this. And like you're kind of bouncing off the walls a little bit. I've been listening to the program for a while and I'm just giving you a little feedback
Good
because
point. Good point.
I work professionally with people to try to help them with these kinds of situations, to help ground them and to help them understand how to use protection in the spiritual way so that you can learn to just kind of level out the energy. Because it's kind of reeling it back in. Every time you feel yourself getting out of control, you feel your nervous system losing control, you have to kind of do some kind of practice, whatever it is, to reel it back in, like bring it back into center.
Okay.
And then once you gain that clarity, and that's going to take a while because it sounds like you've been through a lot, you're going to need to, practice something, whatever it is, if it's handball or walking or taking the train somewhere or whatever it is that where you can, go look at the water. If you can get over to the, to any body of water that's near you or a bridge or something, because that's kind of a cool view. And just try to get your head out of all of this. Just take, and do it briefly to start with, because it isn't going to be something you can just like do in very large chunks of time. It's going to be slow in the beginning, and then if the more you practice this type of thing, you can kind of feel yourself, you can take control of this a little bit, because I feel like everything it's spun out of control just a bit for you, emotionally,
Yeah.
spiritually, physically. Like so many aspects are just, there's a lot going on. You have a lot of head noise. You're buzzing,
Absolutely.
buzzing. And so we're all here to help you in some shape or form. We all have our strengths. So I find that if you can just find in some way, whether it's prayer or a practice, but I think it's removing yourself from your fears is going to be really helpful as well. I mean, and then you'll start receiving, like you told us you got a download. I'm sure that you got some kind of attunement and that you have inner knowledge that you're not really listening to. So if you quiet yourself down just a little bit, you may be able to get inner guidance that's coming from source, which is like God. When I mean source, I mean God.
No,
And
but
yeah,
my
go
thing
ahead.
is that I hear it. I hear what it's saying. It's just that like it's telling me to do shit that I cannot afford to do. Is are
Well,
the gods or the
don't
aliens
be
are the
careful.
gods or the aliens not aware that I only have $5 in my bank account?
Well,
Like they're
be
telling me to do
careful.
shit.
First of all, you don't know who's talking to you just yet. You want to just use discernment and you want to
Mhm.
be, what I would suggest is do this. And I was just telling one of my clients this today, because I do life coaching professionally. And I said, listen, just if you don't, as a woman who was receiving information, downloads of information spiritually, and it was scaring her and she wasn't sure what it was. And I told her, listen, just say, if it's not from the Christed consciousness, I don't want to see it or hear it. Bottom
Right.
line, bottom line. And Commander always talks about this on the program. So if you can come in and join us, it would be, more often, it would be helpful for you to even just listen in on, some of the wisdom that Commander imparts in this show, during the live, shows, because it helps people to really kind of, get that, we have to be able to use discernment and we have to call upon the highest. And when you're Christed in the Christ consciousness, which is an energy, not actually the religious Jesus Christ. I mean, it's fine if you want to go there, that's fine too. If you believe and that's where you want to go, to the biblical Christ, that's fine too. It's all in the same, but the thing is you have to learn about protection spiritually, because you may be hearing things. What happened is during your encounter, you got opened up and
You
you
did.
Yeah,
got
but I don't
wide
want that. I don't
open.
want that though. I don't want that.
So we're going to teach you how to change this and to
Right.
gain your control back. And then you can start to, like, you're not really in any position right now to make any decisions about what to do. I
Right.
mean, I would just start journaling and just start writing things down, and like your mind, the way your mind is speeding, start writing all those things down in a journal, start documenting some things, dating, documenting. When you get, like, if you can't sleep at night, pick up a journal and just start downloading all of it into a journal. And that'll help clear your mind. It'll really help, and stick with it. Like, do it every day. It doesn't have to be for a long time, short period of time. And even if it's just a sentence or a few words, it'll just help to, like, kind of unlock that, like, you've had you've had, in a sense, what they call an experience that is an epiphany in a way, which is it's a religious encounter. Saint Teresa of Avila had a very similar encounter, and she's a Catholic, not a saint. She had an encounter with an extraterrestrial being, and it was documented in a famous sculpture that's in Rome right now by Bellini. And so, the thing is that these are very real experiences, and we as human beings don't know how to process them. We lose it. So we really have to, like, harness our ability to, just center ourselves, which we can do. We're very strong and we're able to do these things. And any kind of, like, business endeavor or anything that you feel like you want to do, you want to just give that some time. All of this will come, all things, work together for good. So you will, it will all come together, but you've got to just give it a little time.
I
All
get
right.
it. I get it.
All right.
My thing is, my thing is just like I gave it. So when I had the encounter and when I had the sighting, that was like 12 years ago.
Okay.
And for a good 10 years, everything was sweet until I started talking about it. And so I feel like I kind of gave it like a good decade. I gave it a decade. And then for the last 2 years, since I started talking about it, now it's been like a big problem for me. And I'm just
Now, have you been
like
talking about it? Can I just ask you a quick question? Were you talking about it like on the internet? Were you talking about it on social
everywhere.
media? Everywhere.
Everywhere. Internet,
Okay.
social media. You meet
Hmm.
me in person, we have a beer and sit down and talk. I'm talking about it. If I meet you on the street, I'm talking about like for the last on the phone, on text messages, everywhere. I've been talking about it everywhere for the last 2 years. And that's when it became a problem for me. I feel
You know
like
what
as
though?
long as I had shut up about it, I'd have been all right.
Mhm.
But now that I'm talking about it, now I'm getting in some sort of trouble, but not really trouble, but definitely
Mhm.
trouble,
Yeah.
but you can't prove that you're in trouble kind of thing. Like it's a
Yeah.
weird situation.
Yeah, it's sort
Yeah.
of inviting chaos into your life, which I
Mhm.
think right now is just probably telling me, and I think you probably know this already, you don't need me to tell you, is to, Shy was probably right, hit the nail on the head. Maybe chill out for a little while, don't talk about it just for a little while longer. Get
Yeah.
it, let's reel it back in. And
Nah, but here's my thing though. It's like I'm broke. They've destroyed my finances. They've destroyed my life.
Mm.
I'm broke.
Mhm.
yeah,
If not if are they gonna like pay me to not talk about it? If they don't want me to talk about it, how valuable is that to them? Is it worth
you
money to
know,
them for
do
me
you
to not talk
know?
about it? I'm
Now,
just asking.
let me ask you
I'm
a
just
quick
asking.
question. Do you know who they, you say they, can you
It's
pinpoint?
some it's definitely a three-letter agency,
Okay.
guessing by the way that I'm being attacked. This
Okay.
is not things that a normal person would do. This is not even things that the US military or the US Army would do. I
Is there
am being
any
Mhm.
attacked
way you
by
can get a paper trail on this stuff? And like maybe I agree with what Riley when he mentioned to get in touch with Dr. Stephen Greer because he does have, he has actually put it out there and he has invited people to come and disclose their, and tell their stories and be a
Mhm.
whistleblower. He's actually has like a group of people that will, help you. And
yes.
you
So
can discuss this with them and openly and not feel fear. And,
Mm.
they will help guide you. They've been doing it. So it's
They
yes.
have money.
just a
Eh,
suggestion. I mean, I know Dr. Greer, maybe, I don't know how much money he's got. I mean, honestly, I don't know if he's making any money doing this. I just don't, I don't necessarily know unless you're working for Hollywood, that you might be, might come into some money, but I feel like it's more about the mission and the
yeah,
mission
yes. I
and the
get it.
Can
truth.
I jump in because that's a perfect landing point. Okay,
Yes,
Go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
thank
Yes.
you.
there's a thing I wanted to bow down to that because that was very beautiful and very important. I feel you, and I've been living your life for the last 3 years, Almighty. I know that you've been living longer, but if you can hear me out, I'm here for a reason, and I had my spiritual awakening when I lost my wife. I had to take care of 3 kids and a mother-in-law and have ADD, and just my life was turned into shambles. When I had that happen, I learned about a thing called nootropics. Look into nootropics, look into ashwagandha, look into lion's mane, look into stuff that will bring your anxiety down so that your emotions will come down, like what Skip's talking about, and your logic will take over. Your logic will allow you to start figuring out a program or a path to take to go and take the knowledge that you have and earn money from it, if that's what you want to do. On top of it, the fact that you won't stop talking about it, That's what the alien, the space beings want you there for. They want you to spread the message, because they're here showing themselves on a regular basis now, because we're doing a thing called disclosure. There's a awakening across the world happening slowly,
Yeah,
one by one, in
that,
different people.
that is
Mine was 3
that's
years
really
ago.
true.
Yours was 12 years ago. So we're
Yeah,
here. I have the word synchronicity is what happened to me. I thought I was losing my brain because I was, saving all these videos. I might even have the video that you're talking about where they were attacking Iraq. Like, I have a video saved. So I'm here for a reason, and I'm here to help you, because I went through a spiritual journey learning about ADD and what psychological effects that it's happening, and I've had to bring it to everybody else on TikTok. It seems like that has been my starseed mission. Your starseed mission is to make people aware of that there actually is crafts out there, but you got to do it with concernment and safety involved, and your logic will take over, and you'll become out of your financial hardship.
and and let me jump in here for a minute because we're on the East Coast of the U.S. and I would love to stay on for 24 hours. No, I'm not going to do that, but it's 1:05 a.m. in the morning, so I want to let Almighty know that he's always welcome here when I'm live. That he had this community of people here that are awakened. Many of them
Yeah,
are
we got a lot to talk
starseed.
about next
You
time.
know, yeah, and definitely, my coach James, Skip the Grace is very good. We love her because she can help people in your situation from a spiritual aspect, and she's just great. I mean, I know her personally, so I definitely want to let you have the final, be one of the people to say what you want to say in our closing. I also want to tell people, if you love what I'm doing here on TikTok, the things I'm trying to do here on the planet, please show your support for this show, for what I'm doing by, if you have TikTok coins and you have 1,000 coins, you can do one of the bigger gifts. So please show some love for what I'm doing. And because I do care about people, I care about the whole planet, but I care about Almighty, I care about what he's going through. I care about every single person on this planet, but all individually, different situations people go through. So I listen. The one thing I love doing is listening to people, because by hearing what they're saying, I get to understand them. And on this planet, too many times we live in a world of billions of people that don't listen to each other. They're just walking, going from point A to point B, and no one stops to listen. The one thing I've learned in time is that when you listen to somebody's story, what they're going through, the stuff that's bottled up in them, once you can express that and get it out of your system, you have a system that's clearer, that can think, that the whole body can think clearer. So I appreciate Almighty spilling it all out here, because I think that's helping him, and we're here to help you. And you're always welcome here. So I want to let you be the first one to do a final say here. Then we'll go to down the rabbit hole, Skip the Grace, and then Riley.
Yes, first I just wanted to say I agree with Skip the Grace and everything she said. I agree with Riley's customs. I agree with everything he said. I heard you both. You both said amazing things and just great things, and I totally agree with both of you. My whole thing is just like what you guys are asking for. I don't want to say no. What you guys are asking for, it's possible, it's great, it's good things. I'm just saying that when these people start attacking you, things are not as easy as they would seem to be. So like the normal things that you normally do, you go to the store, you buy a pack of cigarettes, or you get laundry or whatever, or even some of you are telling me just meditate, just clear your head. When these people are attacking you, everything in your life is 10 times more difficult than it used to be. Even if you're going to just take out the trash, they find a way to screw with that too. And so, like, I get it. And it's like, you know something you're not supposed to know. You're talking about something you're not supposed to talk about. And these people are angry at you for it. And at the same time, it's also like, if you're even so much as try to do anything, they can crush. They have you like I don't even know how to describe the hold that governments really have on us. I don't think most people know how powerful it really is until they're crushing down on you. You know what I mean? I don't think most people actually understand how powerful they really are until they're on you. You know, it's there's nowhere you can go. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. There's no one you can talk to that they haven't somehow got their way into, or they will eventually. Like, everything is tainted from that point on. And I get it, and it's like, meditate and connect with the beings. And like, I have nothing against the beings. I even kind of like them. They came here from another galaxy, world, universe, whatever. I'm not even sure. You guys probably know more than I do about this, because I have no idea where they're from. I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue where they're from. So you guys know more about this than me. They came from another galaxy, world, dimension, time, whatever. I don't know, universe, whatever. But for whatever reason, they came to me, and now it's screwing me. And I kind of, this is going to sound wrong, but I kind of dislike them a little bit for it. It's like, why did you choose me to mess with? And now I'm getting messed with even more over something that I didn't even want in the first place. You know, I'm a normal guy living a normal life. Why the heck is this coming on to me? And so I'm just trying to figure out,
And the thing is, when you mention it, Savat, no one ever knows why a space being comes to you. The contactees from the 50s and 60s were taken on board spaceships by human extraterrestrial beings from different planets. And I have many of their out-of-print books that you can't find anymore. Those are the books I kept. So to answer your question, and to answer your feelings more than your question, is because that's what happens. They're not trying to destroy your life. They don't even conceive that they're destroying a life by making contact. They're thinking, however they think in their consciousness, here's someone that, for some reason, there's something more about you on some cosmic level, some level that you don't even understand yet. And maybe you will, maybe you won't. No one's going to force you to understand it or not. That's going to come in time if it's supposed to happen. But there's a certain reason why when that part of the story was told, you were the only one in that whole base area that was contacted. There could have been anybody, but it was you. There are people, there are millions of people that would actually go nuts to have that encounter. And there are many people that probably wouldn't. But the
that's my
thing is,
whole
you had
point.
the
They should have
encounter.
chose them. They should have chose them. Well, like, why didn't they choose you or any one of you who are here in the chat above me? Like, I knew nothing
They went,
about this before. I knew nothing
I've
about this
had,
before it
yeah.
happened.
No, I
Commander, let
mean,
me take
I don't have to
him
be.
down my rabbit hole. I've been quiet all night.
I'm going to turn it over to you, James, in just a second. The reason why I wouldn't want to be chosen, because I already came from Mars and fully awakened. So I've already came here to experience this life. I'm
That's
human,
more
but I'm
reason
not
for them
human.
to choose you. That's more reason for them to choose you over me. They have no reason
But
to pick me. I'm either starting to think that they're either not as intelligent as I thought, or they're just picking people at random, because there's no
no,
reason
there's
for
a
them to
reason.
choose me. There's no reason
James,
for them to choose
I'm
me
gonna
over
let
all the
James.
other people.
So if I'm mighty, I'm gonna turn it over to James, and
Okay.
I just wanted to let you say your final stuff too. James, go ahead.
Almighty, all of this is real. The UFOs, the ETs, the shadow government, multi-dimensional beings, ETs, Bigfoot, all of it is real. And like you said, you were chosen. And if you said you don't want to be chosen, if you don't want to be chosen, that's fine. Everybody's here telling you, you got to
Right,
meditate, you got to do this. But you could also give it all up.
right,
Because if you're not willing to put in the work spiritually that it would take for you to free yourself, A, from the government messing with you, and B, from the ETs messing with you, because obviously you don't want contact. Whatever they're trying to offer you, whatever they're trying to sell you, you ain't trying to buy it. So if that's the case, then you need to let it all go. Because the government, listen, unless you can build these machines that you're talking about, And unless you can do quantum mechanics, you got nothing that they want other than to show you that they can fuck with you. Excuse my language. Okay, so you've got to really take a look at this. You're not going to make money off of it. You got nothing that nobody, and your information isn't different than millions of other people on this planet. So unless you are that exception, which you could be, you could lift yourself up. You could be the greatest mind this planet ever had. You could be that person. You have inner victory. You were chosen, but you don't want none of that. If you don't want none of that, you're not going to get it. And you've got to really think about this. You got to is them messing with you, you telling your stories on TikTok worth them messing with you? Is it worth it? Because it sounds like your life is in shambles right now. And if it was me, I would walk away from everything. I would start my life over. I don't even know nothing about a UFO. I need to get my life in check. And then, when more disclosure happens, I'm going to work in the shadows. I'm going to take Shai's advice. I'm going to use a triple VPN. I'm going to use a voice changer. I'm going to do it the right way. You got a lot to think about. And I know that, everybody's trying to come at you, with love and light. And I'm all about that life. I really am. But I'm trying to come at you from another boy from New York, just like Grace. This is real deal. And if you're not willing to walk the walk of the spirituality life and take that time, like Grace said, work on yourself, work on your psyche, work on the meditation. If you don't have to do all that, but if you don't want to do all that, you don't even want to be involved with that type of life because it is a journey. And some people aren't meant for that journey, and that's fine. I believe you were chosen for a reason. I believe you have inner greatness inside of you. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that there's something meant for you more than you can even fathom. But
You're right.
there's a
You're right. And
blockage. There is a blockage in your head, or whether we want to call it PTSD, depression, whatever we want to call it. That's where we can all help you. But you got to really think about it. Is all of this bullcrap worth my UFO encounter? We've all had them. We've all had these encounters. The
you're right.
difference
You're right.
is you are getting targeted. And does it suck? Yes. Does it happen? Very far and few between. You're one of the ones that are getting targeted. And you know what? Sometimes we gotta have the Underground Railroad. Sometimes we gotta hide our people that are being targeted. We are here to protect you, but we're giving you sound and good advice about how to protect yourself and move on. And you gotta think about what you want to do, my friend.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I agree with you 100%. And I thank you for keeping it real with me, just keeping it genuine, 100% authentic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate all of that. Like, you're right. You're right. I am at a crossroads because half of me is saying, like, I know what I got to do. And you guys are also telling me what I got to do. But the other half of me is saying, like, why the
Right.
hell they
Think of
choose
it.
me?
You got,
I'm not for
listen,
this. I'm not for it. Why did they choose
listen,
me of all people? So, like, I get what you're saying. I
Shy's the
fully get
real deal, right? Right. So Shy's the real deal. If, like she said, if you can pass these tests, if you can do good, if the background check goes through, there's avenues for you to excel your life. I mean, you're talking, six-figure, working conditions, and then you could do that, or you step away from all of it. You
Right.
embrace it, or you have to step away, because within that chaos that Grace was talking, you're going to have a darkness start to come in. And if you are not spiritual, if you are not religious or whatever, if you don't believe in the higher power, like you said, you don't want none of it. Because believe me, when you're in spiritual warfare, the only way to get out of spiritual warfare is with spiritual armor. So if you're not willing, you got to walk away, my friend.
And
I
that's
feel you.
where I talk about protecting yourself. Always, I tell people, no matter who they are, if you're going to have contact or you're going to be in a situation like that, you need to learn how to put a Christed bubble around your physical being. Once you learn how to do that, if you're in that situation, that Christed bubble will actually protect you. But you have to realize you have a Christed bubble, because if you don't, they'll keep attacking you, whoever you are. And this is not just for Almighty, but there's a lot of people, Almighty, I'm sure, that are learning from what you're talking about, that are having experiences similar. And so I think you're also helping other people by sharing this. You probably don't realize how many more people you're sharing or helping by them hearing this. They might be quietly listening here on the show, and you're helping them as much as we're helping you and you're helping yourself. The ultimate thing is, in the end, it's going to be about you helping yourself. It's about you connecting with yourself, and you're going to be no one can, drag you and say do this or drag you and do that. You're going to have to make that ultimate decision on your own, and come to peace with that decision. We can't do it for you, but we can all, like Grace and my friend James and Riley, and we could. We're always going to be there to help you. Whenever you come here, we're going to be there to help you because we care. I mean, we definitely
Can
care.
I ask you
It's,
personally, what if
yeah,
they wanted you to do something that was going to take the rest of your life to do? Like you don't have a life anymore. You don't have opinions anymore, decisions. You don't have, whatever your goals were, those are gone. What if they wanted you to do something that you have to change the entire trajectory of your life to do that, and there's nothing else you can do other than that? What if they wanted you to do something like that? Like,
if they
would you
did,
Sometimes life throws you a curveball, and you got to decide whether you're gonna swing and try to crush it or let it strike you out.
yeah,
Because let me tell
yeah,
you, my friend, listen, real deal. 20 years ago, my life was in shambles. Okay, shambles, just like yours, financially, mentally, spiritually, romantically, psychologically, you name it. And I had to crawl out of that rabbit hole, crawl out of the darkness, and I had to build myself up. 20 years later, I'm still freaking working on myself. I'm still trying. But you know what? I'm in a heck of a lot better mental spot than I was, way
right,
better spiritually. And, if you would have told me 20 years ago, hey, James, you'll be doing this, you're going to be doing this type of job, whatever, I would have told you were crazy. So I want to just give you a little bit of encouragement that,
yeah,
when you put the work in and when you really put the work in and you do it with a genuine heart, you sound like you said, you're a normal dude. And you know what? I was the same way, man. I was just a normal dude, normal guy, didn't want any attention, didn't want but I was broke and I didn't want money and I needed money. And
yeah,
you know what? I found a way to channel my gifts and my talents in a way that now not only can I help myself, but I can help others along that path. And it was a hard, long, crappy road. It was a roller coaster, ups and downs, highs and lows. But you can't let this, the whole, oh, I got this knowledge of these, I had an experience with ET.
right.
You can't let that ruin your life because right now, put it in your back pocket. You might not understand it, but maybe 10 years from now,
But you're not
something
hearing me though.
happens.
You're not hearing me though. I'm not saying that that's ruining my life. My knowledge of anti-gravity or faster than light travel is not ruining my life. It's the CIA or whoever the fuck it is knowing that I
Oh,
know that. Those are the
okay,
people who are ruining my life. Okay? My
all right,
knowledge of that stuff is not ruining my life.
right.
It's them messing with me. It's them messing with me that's ruining my life. All right. My life was fine until they found out that I knew whatever I knew. And now my life is screwed.
Right,
You
but
get
like
what
Right.
I'm saying?
And
you've been talking about it, you've been telling everybody, you've even said it here. You're like, what I know, why can't I make money? Da 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 da. So there, right?
Hell
You got to
yeah.
remember,
Hell
you might
yeah.
have
Hell yeah.
you might have a rogue agent on your ass that he just got a hair up his ass and he don't like you. And until
I
you
believe
stop
it.
talking about it, then he's gonna keep messing with you. And when
I
and
can't
when
stop
you
though.
slink
I
I,
can't
away,
stop. I
I'm
can't
gonna.
stop. I can't stop. They chose
well
me
then
for a reason. I cannot
But then
stop. I
there's a
cannot
Okay,
stop
compulsion
talking about
there.
it.
But then there's a compulsion there, and that now I'm just gonna say that you might want to talk to somebody professionally because that there's a compulsive addiction there for the need to
this is.
continue this
Now
path.
let me jump in here. Let me jump in here. And this is the host of the show. My name is CmdrAleon. This is Encounters. So, and again, as we wind down here, I think the person, Almighty, that you would want to talk to is Grace. Grace, and hook up with Grace because she will. be really on a spiritual level, on that kind of level, what James you're saying, Grace would be the perfect person. Where I am here in Connecticut, she's here in Connecticut. She's the best person, I think, from my opinion, to talk to. She'll help you in that part
I'm
of it.
gonna just say
In terms
this.
of
I'm
what?
gonna
Say
just say
again.
this. For anybody who does not believe that I'm being tracked by the government, I can simply tell you what I know, and they're gonna mess with you too. So, do you want that? Because I can
Again,
easily just wait.
No, none of that stuff.
Hang on. I can easily just type in the chat the things that I know, and then you'll all be on a watch list. So, do you really want that? If anybody's really thinks that I'm bullshitting or that I'm talking shit, do you really want me to tell you what I know so they can mess with you
We
too?
all believe
Do
you.
you
okay.
want to be on
Everybody
their
believes
radar
I'm
you.
too?
going to jump in here because I am the host of the show, and I'm going to say this. No, we've had people come in here with top secret information, and again, if you whatever you say, they're not going to mess with all of us here because number one, they're they're not going to do it. If you
Yes,
do it
they
and you
will.
just come
Yes, they
out, say,
will. Yes, they will. The
I've
NSA
been
is in
I've
all of your
had government
phones. Yes, they will.
I've
Yes,
had
they will.
they're not going to mess with me. I'll
Yes,
tell
they
you right
will.
now, they will not mess with me.
I
I've
promise you,
had the
the
black
NSA is
helicopter.
in your phone. I promise you.
Appleseed.
If you own a phone, they're in it. I promise you, they will. I
This,
promise you.
they're not going. But if you project the thought that if I say something, everyone's going to be messed with, that's a projection of energy. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen to everybody. That's what I tried to tell you. I understand what you're going through 100%, Almighty. I do. But just because you're being messed with, now we want to help you. We want to focus on helping you. I, people tell things here that are top secret. We're not being messed with. I'm Shy, who's top security clearance, has divulged so many things that are top secret. None of us are being messed with. Now, there might be individuals that are being messed with, but the only thing I disagree with you on when you say we're all going to be messed with, that's just simply not true. I love you, man, but it doesn't mean everybody here is going to be messed with. It just isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I need you to understand how counterintelligence works. They mess with
I know
people
how
in
it works.
ways. Well, they mess with people in ways that you can't prove it, and they also mess with people in ways that you don't even know you're being messed with. You just think you have bad luck. You just think your wife just left. Or you just think your kids just hate you. Or you just think your boss just fired you. You just think you have bad luck. You don't know that they're messing with you in ways that you don't even know that they're messing with. You just think you have bad luck. So the way that they do things is really on a much bigger level than the average person can actually understand. It's like, so if I tell you some of these things are going to happen and they're not good. And things have
Not
happened to me.
necess- not, not necessarily, Almighty. I love you, man. When you say that, you're projecting a fear-based intimidation thing that if you say something, 129 people in here are going to have problems. It's just not true. That's an energy that they're focusing on you. You've been through so many hard things. I can understand what you're saying, but that
Okay,
doesn't
so
mean
I will
everybody's
ask
going to
this.
have that problem.
I will ask this. There's 129 people in here. Do you think the NSA is not in 129 phones right now?
It doesn't matter whether they are or not. People are
They
not
are.
being controlled by.
They're in 129 phones, text messages, emails, calls, all of that. They got all of that. They know who you are.
So
They know you have
let me
all
ask you a question,
palpitations
Almighty. Let
before
me
you
ask you a
know.
question. Do you
But wait,
think
hang on, hang
everybody
on.
should?
Hang on. I'm just saying. So they're in everybody's phones. We all know that already. So there's 129 people in here. If you really knew something that you weren't supposed to know, do you think they would not start pulling strings in certain areas of your life? You may not even know that they're doing it, but you think they wouldn't start pulling strings in certain areas of your life to keep you away from it?
Okay,
And if you
I'm gonna
keep
act.
going towards
I'm
it,
gonna
they'll
act
make
like
it
I'm not.
worse and worse.
I'm gonna act, Almighty, like I don't know anything right now. I'm just gonna put on an act. Okay, so I'm hearing you for the first time. I don't know anything. So are you saying, because I don't know anything, that everyone should stop doing these broadcasts? We should all stop talking about this stuff
No,
that we know, that we
no,
experience,
no,
because we're going to be attacked by the almighty
no,
CIA, NSA, naval intelligence, and all
no,
those people.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not
I know
saying
you're
you should
not.
stop. I'm not saying you should stop. I'm just saying you should be aware that they are ever present and they are definitely pulling strings and things. And if you go a little too far, like I may have went, they will mess with you in ways that you don't want them to. And I'm here as a testament to all of you who have not been messed with yet. I'm telling you that you don't want that, and so there's a I don't want to
So
say that.
okay,
I don't want
I,
to say that.
I,
This it's almost like this like invisible line that you shouldn't cross. And I wish I would have known about it because I wouldn't have crossed it if I knew about it. But it's almost like there's this invisible line where like you're allowed to do certain things and you're allowed to say certain things. But if you go just a little too far over that, you're screwed and there's nothing you can do about that.
What I don't
And
well,
if they
let me
would have
just say
told
this.
me about
Let me
it,
say
if
this
they
as
would have
host.
told me about it, what I'm saying is if they
Right.
would have told me about it, I would not have crossed it. But here I am now telling you guys about it so that you don't cross it. And you
Let
guys
me
are
tell
like
you
looking at
something,
me
Well,
like I'm
man.
making stuff up.
Let me. I got to say this. I got to say
Commander,
this.
this is an Appleseed moment right here. This is some disinformation stuff right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me just say this. When I had my encounter preteen in the 60s, before you were born, I encountered a spaceship in the cul-de-sac. I came from New York, too. I'm from Long Island originally. I went
I know, I can
upstairs.
hear it.
I went upstairs and went to my brother's room and saw a spaceship with men, women, and children that telepathically communicated with me. Now, if they want to mess with me, I'm an adult. If they've been messing with me, man, they're not messing with me. I'm telling you right now, I have the strength of spirit in me that they're not going to mess with me. I don't care. I know about the tapping the phones and how Americans are being tapped and people all over the world have their phones tapped. But that again, if one projects the fear-based thing, like you go over the line, this is going to happen. If I were to be an unawakened cosmic being, I would actually say, oh, maybe I should, just hide in a cave or something. I'm being hypothetical here. So I'm taking the devil's advocate here. So I'm going to hide in a cave. This person's speaking this stuff. I better go hide. Let me tell you something. There's millions of people on this planet that are not afraid of any government, any agency, any psyop thing or whatever. There are a lot of people here in this room here that are watching this show. They are
If you're
empowered.
not
They're not
afraid,
afraid.
it
They're not
means
afraid of
if you're
crossing
not
any
afraid,
lines.
it means you don't know what they can do. If you're not
No,
afraid of
no,
them,
I
it
know what
means
they
you
can
don't know.
do. I'm not afraid. There are people in here that know what they can do. They're not afraid. Projecting the fear does not help anybody, including yourself. And that's where, again, I come in here on a spiritual basis, working with the Ashtar Command, which are spiritual beings from other planets. I work with them. I communicate with them. I don't care about the NSA. I personally don't even care. And because I don't care, they can't even come to my frequency. And they can't come to a lot of people's frequencies in this room. Again, the projection of that, I understand because of what you've been through, that would be a projection you would speak of. I completely get it. But again, as I said earlier, it does not represent everybody in this room in a totality and even everybody on this planet. There's a lot of people that are billions of people that are unawakened that are probably asleep, so to speak. But I'm going to tell it right now the way it is. I'm going to tell it the way it is because I love you. Not everybody's going to have a problem because there's a lot of people here that have been taken on ships. They've told me their stories. They've crossed that cosmic line already. They're having encounters with space people. No one can stop that. No government, no CIA, no NSA. Nobody can stop that. I'm speaking cosmic truth. Whether you believe it or not, I'm speaking cosmic truth. I'm sitting here listening, but I cannot sit here and not say something like this. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't speak this way to you. Because I love you, I'm telling you the way it is. Now you can reject it, free will, or you can accept what I'm saying is truth. It's up to you.
No, I accept what you're saying is true, but I also think that I think that you have the freedom and the courage to say it because they haven't made themselves
It doesn't matter.
very
I've seen black
they haven't
helicopters.
revealed
I've
to
seen,
you yet that they're in
yes, they
every
have.
aspect
They
of your
have.
life.
Let me tell you a
They are in
story. They
every
have.
aspect of your life and they have
They
not
have.
made that clear to you yet.
They have made themselves known, and I don't care. I saw a black helicopter once observing us because we had two beings in our apartment, not this apartment, where I used to live. They were monitoring us the next day for about an hour. They was hovering with antennas on it. I don't care. I'm not afraid. There's no fear in me. There's not any
That's
fear in people in this room.
dude, that could, I don't want to sound like that guy, but that could be just like local police training in the area.
No, no,
That's not
they weren't local police.
I'm just being
You
realistic. That
weren't
could be
there.
nothing
You were
though.
not
But that,
there. No, they
I
weren't.
know, I get it. I'm not trying. Like I said, I'm not trying to be that guy. But they could be just like local police training in the area. They're not actually on you. When they're on you, like I'll tell you
They're,
this.
So if they're
They
not on him, why do we have to believe that they're on you and you just don't have
Right.
crappy luck?
Let me tell you something. I'm not saying that they're not on you. I'm saying they're on everybody. They're just not revealing it to you that they're on you. These people know if you have a heart palpitation, if you're about to have a stroke in a year, they know all of that. They can see all of that and they can see it from outer space. These people can see if you have termites in your house from outer space, from the satellites. These people can see that regardless if there's cloud coverage or not. They can see down from outer space. If you hold your credit card or your ID in your hand, they can read the words on your ID from outer space. You don't understand the technology that they have.
It
The
does
same
not
way that
affect
you
people. Again,
listen, the same
I'm
way.
closing. I'm getting close to closing the broadcast down. It's
Hang on,
1:34 in the morning.
hang on, but hang on. The same way that you go to a doctor and you get an X-ray and they can see through your bones from outer space, these people can see through your body and they can tell you if you have worms or if you have a how or if your lungs are no good or whatever. If you have a cavity, they know everything about you. You don't know this, and they've been
Who
doing this for the
cares?
last. Listen to me. They've been doing this for the last 40, maybe 50
But who
years.
cares? I
I'm
mean,
not
again, I don't mean to
because
be
listen,
disheartening.
but
I got to say this again. I'm going to say this again,
let me
Almighty.
finish,
You're still
guys.
projecting fear-based in your consciousness. It's all fear-based. I know you've been through, but that projection doesn't mean everybody else is going through it. And I'm going to say it loud and
I
clear.
know you're not going through it, but what I'm saying is that when you do go through it, they will make it very clear to
If
you that they can
the
end you in
question,
literally
no, if
any
you,
single way at any
if
single
you,
time. They
it's
will make
if you
it
go
very
through it.
clear.
It's if you go through it. It's if you go through it, not when you go through it. It's if. It doesn't mean everyone's going to go through it. It's if a person gets to go through it. Not everybody's going to go through it. That's it. That's my final statement, man. That's it. I'm saying it the way it is.
All right.
I'm saying
All
it
right.
the way it
Well,
is. And we're going to help you.
I'll say this. I'll hope you're right. I hope you are right and I'm wrong. I'll say that. Because everything inside of me wants you to be right, even though I know you're wrong. Everything inside of me wants you to be right.
Well, if you
But
keep saying
I
I'm
know
wrong
better.
and you know I'm wrong, you're never going to know that I'm right because you already believe that I'm wrong.
No, I'm saying that I want you to be right. Everything inside of me wants
Well, that's
I
good.
swear to God, I in my heart of hearts, I believe and I want what you're saying to be right. But I know otherwise of what they have and what they do, and I know who they are and I know what they're about.
Okay.
And
So we're going
and I
to,
want what you're saying to be right, but it's you get what I'm saying?
I already hear what you're saying. But in closing our show tonight, I want to thank you for being here. Again, contact Shy. She's going to contact you. And more than anything else, you're the one who needs to get peace within yourself. Me, I have it. You need to have that. So get in touch with her, okay? That's what you need. I have my own peace. I'm not afraid of anything. People know that. I am not afraid of anything. So I want you to get your peace. And it will take some time with what you've been through, but we
I
love you.
want you guys to know I'm not challenging you. I'm not trying to challenge you
I know
guys.
you're not.
I don't want you guys to feel like I'm telling you this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen. I'm not telling you that. I'm just letting you know what could and maybe will happen if you go too far into this because I have and I'm going through it. And I don't want to see you guys go through
I
what I
got
went
a
through.
damn podcast on Spotify that we talk about this stuff all the time. We're all right. We're okay.
We're okay. Believe me.
Okay,
We're
buddy.
grown
All right.
adults and we
All
know what
right.
we're doing and we're okay. Good
All
saying
right,
that, James.
I
We're
won't press it
completely
anymore.
grown adults.
You guys say you're okay. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I won't press it
Yeah,
anymore.
we are.
Everybody, the general consensus that I'm getting is everybody saying they're okay. They're not worried about anything. Then I'll
Yeah, the
say,
That's
world
right.
okay,
sucks. We're all suck. Everybody's living on this crappy planet, but we're living on a vibration level where we don't let that stuff phase you.
That's right.
We
okay,
lose a
but do you
job.
even
Well,
know
we
what the
lose a job.
frequency of
We
your
go and we get two
vibration
more.
level is? Do you get what I'm saying, Rabbit Hole? Do you even know what the frequency of your vibration level is?
Yes.
What's the
Yes, I
frequency in
tune
megahertz?
myself. I
What is the
tune myself
frequency in
between
megahertz of your
400.
vibration level right now?
I'm
Because
probably
they
riding
know
about
you
a
don't even
420
know.
right
Do
now.
you get what
I'm
I'm saying?
probably riding about
You
a
don't even
420
know.
hertz.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't even know. They know.
I
Do you
don't
know what
need
the
to know.
frequency level
I
in
don't need to know.
megahertz
I'm
of
in touch
your
with
vibration
source.
level is right now? What's your
I don't
vibration
need
level?
to know. It is high. It is high enough
It's
and
high.
strong
What's
enough
high?
where
What's
I
high?
don't need to worry
29,000?
about all of this.
30,000?
I live a
200,000?
life of
Is it
optimism.
300,000? In megahertz, what's high to
400
you?
megahertz. I
Because you
told you.
don't
I said
know.
420
The
hertz.
military
I told
knows. The
you.
CIA knows. This
Mute,
is what I'm
mute,
saying. These people
host, so
know.
that
This is
Almighty
what I'm
can
I
telling
know,
listen.
but
you. They know
listen, you're
shit
bringing
you
all
don't
this.
know. It's
We're,
what I'm telling
I
you.
know, but listen, we can't have you on the show if you're going to be talking like a neurotic. Okay,
All
we
right,
want to
whatever,
have
whatever,
everybody on the
whatever,
show. We
whatever,
want to be loved, but you are just
whatever, bro. I'm all
you're
love
taking the
too, but I'm just
commander
trying to
to a
help
spot where
you. I'm
he
trying to
doesn't
help
want to.
you, brother.
No, no, no. We
I'm
don't
all
need
love
help.
too, but
You
I'm trying
need
to help
help.
you.
No,
I
I
That's
need
the
don't
help.
need
thing.
your help.
You don't
You
even know your
need
James doesn't
frequency,
need
but I
need
help.
need
help.
help. You don't
We
even know
don't
your
need help.
frequency,
You
but
need
I need
help.
help.
You need help,
What's your
man. We need to
frequency?
help
What's your
you.
frequency?
We need to help you. You're another one who's had
What's your
these in
frequency?
situations. You need
When
spiritual
you're
cosmic
vibrating
help.
high, what is the frequency that's
You
coming
need
out of your
spiritual
body?
cosmic help. As the host of the
What is the
show, and I've
radiation
done a
level
lot of
that's coming out
workshops,
of your
you
body?
need
In
cosmic
megahertz,
spiritual help.
describe it. You don't
Forget the
know.
megahertz or the
The
cosmic hertz or
military
any hertz.
knows. They measure
You need
this. The
spiritual
CIA
peace.
knows. They measure
You need
this.
spiritual peace,
You
my
don't
friend.
even know what you're vibrating on right
We're
now, is
ending
what I'm
this
trying to
discussion
say.
right
You
now
have no
as
clue
host.
what these people can do and what these people are doing. You have no clue what these
And we're
people are
not throwing you off the
capable of.
show. I just need to close the show. It's getting
Yeah,
late.
we're not trying to censor the guy, but this is not the type of show that we run. We don't let somebody go off on a neurotic rant for 30 minutes and
Whatever.
just allow it to
Whatever.
go. I'm sorry.
Whatever. I'm trying to help you, bro. I'm trying to help you, but it is what it is.
You're the one who we need to help, bro.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. All right. I know what I'm
All
talking
right.
about. You guys can't even
Okay.
answer questions about what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know
We can't
everything
answer
I'm talking
questions.
about. Y'all don't even know what y'all are talking about. So how you trying to help me?
Okay.
How
He
you
So
was
trying to
we're
help
sent
me
by
going
when
the
y'all don't
to
even know what
CIA.
y'all talking about? I know what I'm talking about.
we're going to as
the
host. I love everybody. We're gonna as host call an end to the show for the night, okay? And that's what we're gonna do. You know, when I don't get in this mode most times, I'm usually pretty laid back, but I'm putting the cosmic gamut down here, and we are going to close the show out. We went on since after 11 o'clock tonight, so we're ending the show. I appreciate it. Get in touch
Before
with
we
Shine.
end,
She'll help
rabbit
you.
hole, what's your frequency? What you at right now?
We're going to close the show down.
Hell no. Hell no. He don't fucking know. That's my point.
Okay,
He
no,
doesn't even
okay,
know. You get what I'm
that,
saying?
okay, that's it. That's it. Okay? Okay? I love everybody, but that's not going to happen here. Sky will be in touch with him. Hopefully Sky will help him, you know. And when I make a decision like this, it's not easy, but I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Yeah, you got muted because we're closing the show down for the night, which I said earlier. We're going to have last comments. And instead of having last comments, again, projecting that fear. Okay. It's not going to happen. Okay. And that's the end of it. All right. Down the rabbit hole, Riley, thank you for being here. Everybody else, thank you for being here. And it's just not going to happen in the future. You know, when you're hosting a show like this, I try to be very open to everybody, and I am. And I think I did the right thing just now, and it's the right thing I had to do. And if I wasn't going off early, I would have still done it. You know, it's the end of that. No more fear-based stuff. No more fear-based stuff. That's the end of it. Okay? That's it. I love you all. Please send me some gifts. It's been a long night. So any gifting or whatever, I would certainly appreciate it. You know, my whole deal here is to wake people up, to bring forth high vibrational frequencies, to bring understanding, to bring people together. There's not going to be fear. I have no fear of the NSA, CIA, or whatever. No fear. I don't want you to have any fear. You know, we love you, man, but again, you keep projecting and projecting and projecting the same thing. And you're not hearing us. You're really not hearing us. You know, it doesn't work that way. All right, folks, I love you all. Take care. We'll be back on Friday night. And everybody have a blessed evening or blessed morning. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for the gifts.
Come back and listen, Almighty. We love you. Just come back and listen. That's all you got to do, and you'll understand it. We believe you. Love and light.
And tomorrow night, we're going to hopefully have a mixture of new people to come on here and join us. You know, I want to make sure, I'm sure there were a lot of people in here with stories they could have told that we never got to talk to. And if you're on tomorrow night, certainly share your stories. And we'd love to do that. So take care, everybody.
Ellie,
Much
go live
blessings and
right
peace.
now. Go live with me right now and invite me. If they're gonna end this show, we're gonna keep this conversation going. Go live right now and invite
Not
me.
on here. We're signing off this show.
Riley,
And I think
go live right now and invite me. Go live right now and invite me. We'll keep it going right now.
Okay.